right? All right, everybody all right? All right. We're going to sound the Cartos to Ross. So hold them up there all day. Hang on, we almost down. Rob the little children. All right, y'all all right? All right, give me a sound of Cartos to Ross. Whew. Let's turn that heat down now. Got a couple of them. Y'all make some heat now. I see why our keep alarm stays so hot. All righty. Two to be here again. Woke up that morning, my mind was still stayed on it. Isn't that right? Man, I tell you, you take the simple thing. If I woke up, my eye had flipped, the eyelid had flipped in. I was trying to get that thing back down. I scratched it one time before. That time it came out all right. I said, woo, that for me. Oh, appreciate it, sweetie. Yeah, that worked out for me by the con of Yahuwah. Well, if it had not been for Yahuwah on our side, where would we be? Isn't that right? You know, that's in the book. He said, let all Yasharal say, if it had not been for Yahuwah on our side, where would we be? Isn't that right? I appreciate you for being patient with us. While we're in the middle of transition and not cutting us off, people don't realize how important that is. A lot of the people that came before didn't get this opportunity. If Yahuwah has ordained it that you won't see it, you won't see it. Ain't no mistake. You can do all the wrestling and searching and praying you want to do. If he got it in his perspective and his objective that you won't see it, you ain't going to enter in. You ain't getting it. That's for everybody in here and people out there too. I am so forever grateful for an opportunity to be able to humble myself and consider my latter end. Because with everything that's going on in the world, it might like a small thing for, but everybody ain't going to get it. And it's not for everybody. You got to think there's a lot of honest people crying out. There's a lot of people that's seeking. He said ain't going to find it. He said they're going to go to and fro, seeking. He said they're not going to be able to find it. And I would hate to be one of them people. Can you imagine that? You think about all over the world, it's people that's seeking salvation, seeking Yahuwah, seeking the knowledge, information. But he's already designated. He's only going to allow so many people to get it. That number can't be exceeded, nor can you come under that. Now, can you imagine that? To find out the number's already been set, and you don't meet the measure. I mean, I'm just saying, you crying, you honest, you really trying to get it, and he like, I already got the number. I can't take anymore. I already got what I'm gonna take. That's why, while we still here, this is the perfect opportunity for every man, every woman, every boy, every girl, every race, everybody to really consider their latter end and consider how important it is to be able to break away from whatever culture stigmas we got, whatever hang-ups we got, because a lot of that stuff is going to wind up keeping us out. You know, you got religions, certain people can't be saved because they nationality. My end of this, I don't believe you can be saved if you can't obey the book. That nationality right there is doomed. It's just being honest. Nobody can control what race they're in. Nobody had no control over that. You don't get to pick a race or nationality. You're pretty much kind of placed in a situation. But at the end of the day, what's the thing that's most precious is the fact that he gives you that opportunity regardless of your past, regardless of the deeds of your forefathers or mothers or whomever, you know, to give you that opportunity to be able to reconcile, to say, you know what I'm saying, you got an opportunity to get this thing right for you. You got to think about the people that came before. Can you imagine if you were born and your father or your mother had taken somebody of another nation and that will put you out for 10 generations? What chance you got if you out for 10 generations? That's you and 9 more before they can even get back in. You got to figure that's a hurtful situation, but at the same time, you got to consider it was only because he had an intent that somebody wasn't getting in. Can you imagine that? 9 people seeding out from you can't get in. It'll be to the next $2. Can you imagine you get caught up at number 4, number 3, number 8, number 7. Any one of them numbers are terrible. And the fact that he comes along now and he done set Yahushua to come and reconcile it. You know, before in past time reading years back, I mean, I didn't, like I said, you don't question it, but you ain't, in yourself, you just kind of say, kind of keep moving. But how do you, what kind of part you got in that? What part you got in that you are born into a situation where somebody has done something and he done swore y'all ain't getting in. Listen, I Shabba, you ain't getting in. You thinking, I'm finna get this thing right. I'm finna try to really get serious so I can get in. That man said, you do all you want to, you're not getting in. You and all your Tula, none of y'all getting in. And the fact now Yahushua coming, do you understand? Not only for us, but the fact that he came to reconcile all that, for people that looked at, you really didn't have a chance. So we sat down and we consider the goodness of the Torah, and we consider the parts of the Torah that look at, you don't stand a chance. You really don't stand a chance. Even if it ain't for the marriage, it's for an act they commit. And he said, you know what I'm going to do? Hypothetically, Cam, since you're here, you commit an act. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bother you. I'm going to visit your son. I'm going to visit your son's son. I'm going to visit his son. And I'm going to visit to the 4th Tuladar. 4 of them got to suffer. Now, when his son grows up and have a kid, and this kid come along, he might just have he bringing me into the mic. His son said, I'm learning, and I want to really get this. I want to try to get this. I really like. He got to look and tell his son, said, son, you or me, we can't get in. Your son, how discouraging you think that is? And you feel like you got an ear to hear, and you feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing this. I want to know more, and you got to tell your son, you can't get in. You can't get in, I can't get in, and your son can't get in. Do you understand that people that came before us was looking for what we got now? Do y'all understand they were looking for reconciliation and could not get it? Can you imagine seeking a land you can't even get in? You won't even get in it. You could look for it, you can see it, you won't make it in it though. So that Musha, all that work and find out I can't get in it. Do y'all understand everybody that came before us, I'm talking before the descent of Yahushua HaMashiach. Everybody was looking for this great reconciliation, this repairer of the breaches. Everybody was looking for this. It wasn't in their time. And you understand, it was because he had an intent that there was some people, not just a person, they're not getting in. I set this up. Listen, I don't want you. I don't want your kid. I don't want your kid. I don't want that kid. I don't want them all the way to the night. Listen, it needs to be 10 of them that I just cast out that can't get in before I even start to see anybody from your lineage. Can you imagine that? And you get that number, I'm number 7. What that mean? I'm almost down. What if you number 8? What if you number 9 though? You 9 though. You almost could have got it. Still can't get. Can you imagine any number you got is like, I'm done. Can you imagine what would be the need of even attempting? Because if you believe, you got to take him at his word. There's nothing listen, like they say, you might well just go on somewhere and smoke crack. You might well go and do whatever you're going to do because you ain't getting in. And now we set today, after not just today, but from the time period of Yahushua, his moot, here it is, this reconciliation has come upon us. I mean, in the book of Jude, he asks, behold, what manner of a heart the Abba has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the Benin of Elohim. Do y'all understand? When you look at how they looked at that, they look at, we could have very well been that Tuladar. That he said, listen, this whole generation I'm getting rid of. Do y'all understand that? This man can say, listen, you can serve, you can give, you can pull out. Listen, you can abstain yourself all you want to. I assure you, he said, I hate you. And no matter what you do, you can never reconcile me. Do you understand? Where would that put you in your mind? I know there's people in here that feel like, and not just here out, I did so much I can't make it in. But still, there's a glimmer of what they would call hope. Can you imagine for them people, when you've been taught the Torah, you know the Torah, I'm the second of my father, and my father did something. Where is this? Who's going to be the benefactor of what my father did wrong? And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try to get it right. At this point, it would be almost like, it don't make sense. Knowing the Torah and being taught it, there's no way I can get in. And I think if more people understood it from that magnitude, we would become more appreciative to, you had nothing to do with this. None of us had nothing to do with this. That's why he said it was con. Think about it. If that was a feat that you could do, how many of y'all in here got the ability to repent? Anybody got the ability to repent? What about with that, the only way you can get in, even if you did repent, is that he had to allow it and had to accept it. There's nothing you can do on your own. Nothing. Nothing you can do on your own. He had to actually put a protocol in place. Listen, everybody came before us listen, how about the people who served, who kept the Makdash? To the end, they weren't getting in. You think about a man like Ali, they call Eli, who kept the Makdash. And people came and brought him the offerings. You know what I'm saying? Brought them the Zabbat, the sacrifice, the offerings and different things. And here it is, he see his sons doing something, and you confront them and let them know, listen, I'm hearing about y'all guys. People talking about stuff y'all doing. That stuff not good. And you cause people to go wrong by what you're doing. And you felt like I've done enough, because I ain't like I ain't saying nothing to them. I didn't see it, but when I heard it, I did go and I addressed them. And then it come back to let you know, I'm going to cut you off. You and them boys going to get cut off. Y'all ain't going to get in. And you know what he didn't do like us? Why? It don't make no sense. Nigga been working. I've been doing right. That's them. You and them boys going to get cut off. I'm going to cut this whole thing off with you. And you know how he fought. Y'all know what his fight was, his cry was? He said, it's Yahuwah. You know why he didn't fight back? Because to fight back is to say the man ain't right. If to fight back is to say that what he said ain't true. That he not just, to fight him back is to say, I don't agree with your judgment. Y'all understand that? Do you understand being stuck in a situation like that? To fight him back, to say, listen, come on. This ain't right. What did I just say to him? I just told him he ain't right. Where we going from here? People might read it and say, man, that's stupid. That's been me. I've been trying to fight to get in. Do you understand you've been resisting what that man's will was? Do you understand? Think about how mind complexing that would have had to be. To be sitting here and this man sent someone to tell you that I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to cut your descendants off from you. And all you can do is sit here and say, it's Yahuwah. I'm stuck. Don't you know when you get this knowledge, like people want to know the knowledge of Elohim, and you understand this part. With that happening, the book talk about how if we willfully commit kataim, what that is we don't get now? Could that be a reason why he ain't trying to repent it? Because he told her, you could have restrained them. You could have kept them back. And he knew, and he let him know, I told you this from the beginning. I told you when this thing started, we're going to end there. I told you what to do. And all he could sit there and say, it is Yahuwah. Do y'all understand why we should be appreciative? How many of us in here have never willfully committed wrong? Raise your hand. Let me ask you a question. How you get that chance and you think about that man gone? That man gone, cut him off, cut his sons off, cut his grandson off. And this man, listen, all I did, I confronted him. I told him, listen, this is not good. Y'all guys shouldn't be doing this. He said, no, you should have restrained them. And you in your mind, you thinking, I thought I did enough. And you think about it, none of us in here raised our hand that we hadn't willfully committed kataim. And this man ain't told you you cut off, and your Benin. He hadn't told you that where he started you, this whole thing over with, it's going to end with you and your family. Y'all can't get in. Can you imagine that? Apparently y'all can't, because if you did, I think we're serving better. You become more appreciative to the fact of, and we wonder, why do you find yourself that you have fallen or you've done something, And it could get you to get to a point of realizing, I could have cut you off. I could have cut you right off. But because of Yahushua, do you understand we've never had something like this before? Yahushua, there's never been a case. There's never been an occasion where we had some similitudes, but all of those were broken up in different segments. We had the one whole complete package right here that has given us an opportunity that you can live free from sin. Free from it. Complete. Free. Without any alterations of the Torah. Listen, and the Torah still be right. Because you got to feel like a lot of people. Let's just be honest. You ain't got to say it. But if Cam went and said how did he hit LaDanya, I'm saying I have absolutely nothing to do with that. But because I'm going to send to him, they come in and arrest me. I'm going to tell them that's fair. I'm going to get up and say, well, that's fair. Because that's the law. That's what I'm going to do? What I'm going to probably do? Huh? Fight against it. Because it wasn't me. Cam should suffer for that. Listen, really, it's no reason to talk to me. Really, you ain't got no business coming to me by nothing. But do you understand the Torah was set up like this to get us to see the benefit in him? Because a lot of people don't see the benefit. Because we've been walking in what we call Khan, his favor. We've thought that this is just a given. This was an opportunity to come back and to show the righteousness of this man's law. The fact that this was always entailed in the Torah. For a lot of people, the Torah wasn't right. Don't believe that. The Torah was not right. It was not fair. It was not just. Not when you let me ask you a question. You go to prison and ask the majority of them people now, how many of y'all rightfully him? A lot of folks said, and they know they did wrong. No, it ain't right. It's the system. Yeah, the system wrong. And you know why a lot of them gonna say it? Because you've been condemned and convicted by it. So a lot of people hadn't saw the Sadiq, the righteousness of the law, simply because you've been convicted by it. So there was a need for us to see the condemnation of the Torah so you could appreciate the Khan. The same law that condemned, that put people to moot, gave us life. Wow. Wow. That same, quote unquote, as people would say, I'm not calling, unjust law, that he'll come along and he will put it on the descendants. If that had not happened, Yahushua could have never died for us. Now let's look at all the kids that died before. Truly, this did not look just. Am I correct? How could they look just? You did something wrong, little Cam died for it. Tell me you said, that's right there. You thinking, how my kid died? Think about that. How is that just? How many of y'all feel like it's just if your kid died for something you did? Nobody would see that. Nobody. But how is it that y'all okay with Yahushua dying? For everybody who said ain't fair, who ain't right, include me now, that the child should suffer and die for the wrongdoings of the child, that came from where? The Torah. That same unjust, not right, unfair, biased Torah. Y'all understand that? It's that same unjust, biased Torah that came to be Sadiq, righteous, Sadak, just, when it fell on Yahushua. Because that was your son. Yeshayahu told you unto you that a child was going to be born. He told you that a son was going to be given to you. So now when you look at it, you see how it came back to reconcile everybody. Look at, wow, I was wrong. I looked at this thing completely wrong. I never viewed that you were setting up a protocol to deliver me and to show me I had a connection. Because think about this. For people who try to just have blood lineage connection, and there's a blood lineage connection, there's a Ruach connection too. Otherwise, if the truth be told, you can't be forgiven for your sin. How could you be forgiven for your sin if it's not your son? Because the Torah said that Daud, when he fell and he committed adultery with Uriah's Isha, his wife, correct?
Yes, sir.
He told him that he was not going to die for this thing. But his son was going to die.
That's right.
Now, when you read it, you look at it, before we became into the knowledge of, you look at, why would this kid die? Why would you spare Daud's life? Daud should have died. Daoud commit, but the son died. And guess what the son had did? No sin. You ain't gonna believe it. And wasn't no deceit in his mouth. That's why he need to die. If you had allowed Daoud to die, Daoud had deceit in his mouth, because it was a deceiving act that he sent Uriah out. He had Qatar because he had committed adultery with another man's wife. It made logical sense that the child should die for his Qatar. I'll harp him. That's why I'll harp him, Lee. Nobody could put that together. For anybody believe that Yahuwah ain't right, it makes sense. That he established that he knew when he gave it to her. He knew how to mumble. You can't take my child from me and ain't gonna have some kind of hate, some kind of hurt, some kind of displeasure for. There's no way. There's no way. But the fact that he will allow us to come into the consciousness, to come into the knowledge of, so I would know. For years a Christian we said we love him. Why you love? Because he died. Is that all? You know how many people died? So you love everybody that died? Huh? We're talking about somebody that came and created and did a feat that no man had ever done. We never seen it before. When we saw it by the Torah, we were blinded by it. We were blinded because I hurt. When you hurt, there's a lot of stuff you don't see. I mean, come on, man, you hurt. Come on, you don't see that stuff. It laugh. I could laugh about whipping my mom. Now my mom whipped me. I said, let's sit down, Beulah. When I think about that was for my correction to make me better. I hated her. How many of y'all hated y'all parents you got whipping? Certain whip didn't make you hate them. Guess what Yahuwah knew? You hate me, don't you? You hate me because you have matured and understand. When you get the maturity, when you get the growth, how many of y'all now you can come back and say you appreciate it? And get what Yahuwah said. That's why it made sense for him to regard himself as a father. He said, you had fathers of your flesh that chastised you. He said, and you gave them reverence. They whipped you and said, go to your room. And don't turn on the TV. You had to sit there and take. He said, so when I chastise you, why I can't get you to sit and take my instruction? I told you I was a father. And as a father, don't you think I would care for my child? Don't you know that if I would correct you, it will only be for your benefit? I appreciate him. That's why I love him. And this is why we have to sit down and you just got to be in meditation. You just got to, it ain't no getting on your knees. I had to just thinking on. Every time I just think on, just thinking. I don't deserve the privilege. I don't deserve the opportunity. And guess what? He said, exactly, that's why I gave it to you. Because you felt like you deserved it. He said, I couldn't do nothing with you. We run a race. I'll run everybody. And they come up and give me the first place. I deserve it. Why wouldn't I get first place when I beat everybody? Hello? Why wouldn't I get it? If we playing basketball and my team won the championship, did you give me the trophy? I earned this trophy. Me and the team played blood, sweat, and tears and fought through. This is ours. We did it. You come down to salvation. All favor. All favor. Think about Abraham. When we found out that Abraham, Aman, Elohim, and it was accounted to him for Sadiq, was it when he was in the house with his father and them? That was after he had gotten out and gone. And he had proved himself later. Don't you know the book said that Abraham had got there because of work? He could boast. Abraham can't boast. The fact that he went into a house of some people and said, let me get you. I'm going to take you, I'm going to make you a great Goin. I'm going to take you. Son, you already had gone past. You couldn't even make a child, let alone having a kid. Even you and yourself said you couldn't do it. When the man was asked about him having a seed going to descend, he said, it don't even make sense. I'm 99 years old. Man, all I got is powdered milk. Where am I going to get a kid from? I know how you're going to do it. It's one that was born in my house from one of my Abadim, my servant. You're going to take him and make him my son. He said, no. This one going to proceed from your loins. This one going to come out from you. I know how you think, and he wanted to give, because you know how, that's when he looked at, listen, I don't want it to ever look like Elohim can't do what he said. So I will accept if you just let one be born in my house from one of my Abadim, my servant, and I count that for a seed. Don't do me no favor. Whatever I said, that's what I'm going to do. And you know what that do? That it strengthens us. Because in your mind and in your life, your everyday dealing with things, life has a way of crushing you on certain ends. And it looks like it's virtually impossible to do what he said. But that's where he work at. Impossible where you stop. That's where he started at. He said, all I take is impossible. Because I sent you to a man and said, I'll let you go talk. Go tell him and say, let him go. He ain't going to do it. I just want you to see, did Yasharal get themselves out? He gave it to him. He didn't tell him to go grab that joke in the car and sling him off that throne and start punching that nigga in the stomach. Just go talk to him and see if it worked. I told you, he's not going to let you go. Not until I step in. When I crush everything around that man, when I take down everything around, who you think Yasharal had? It makes sense that whenever you appear to them, to let them know the Elohim that delivered you from the Beth of bondage. Because you didn't do this yourself. I had favor on you. I told Abraham that I was going to bring you out. You did nothing. You understand the appreciation they should have had? The fact that the whole time you served, you would have still been there had I not appeared. If it had not been because of the Berith, Ashabah, the Abraham, Yasakar, and Yaakov, you'd have still been in your sin. He said, I brought you out. When I brought you out, I taught you about the wrong you done. You wouldn't accept it while you was in it. While you was in it, you still completed. That's why I told y'all we got to get out of him. There's no way to stay him. No more than they could have stayed in Mizraim and still been saved. There's no way. What were they doing in Mizraim? Bonding. Everything Mizraim were doing, they were doing. Let me tell you something. Mizraim was sinners, transgressors. And if we were doing the same thing they were doing, you ain't going to believe it. Sinners and transgressors. Hey! He ran, don't worry about it. He must have known I was coming. That echo guy, he'll do that period. But think about it. You are going to commit the same content these people commit because you're here. I don't know. That was just me. I think if you don't look at it a certain type of way, if you don't consider it for what it is, consider him. People say, oh, you read, but you don't read with the connection of all this for me? All this for me? Everybody count themselves insignificant. It makes sense to be humble. Giving yourself really no value. Because when you give yourself a value, there's certain things you expect. I tell my wife certain things. I tell her about it. Look, I get. She said, baby, I ain't taking no less. So you ain't did no favor. You here, ain't you? Because it's a value she placed on herself. She just be humorous, but it's a value that you place on yourself. She feel like whatever you're getting, really, you ain't doing no extra. This is what you're going to be doing because I ain't taking no less than this. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to us, if we humble ourselves and have no value upon ourselves, do you understand how appreciative you are for what he done? As long as you have this high place value on yourself, you never really see what you're actually being given. When you look at, you're nothing. Anything that you could do of yourself, it couldn't even be counted for righteousness. He said that stuff would be filth. If you could establish a right, he said, I can show you with the book and wrong. Any right that you could, I ain't talking about his right, any right that you could come up to do that right, he said, I can show you where it's wrong. Any right, like people, he said, all our rights are filthy rags. He's not talking about the right that we do according to the Torah. He's talking about things that we create for ourselves. In the book of, I think it's Shaphatim, he talked about how they took the gold and the mother had the gold and she had given it to her son, set it aside, and the son had stolen the gold. But when he told the mother he had stolen the gold, she told him Baraka. The man stole from his mother. She said Baraka, because I set it aside for you, but yet he stole it from her. She said, so you can make you a seraphim, you can create you an Elohim. And that book told, in those days, he said, with no malak. There was no ruler. And everybody did. Man stole from his mama. And she said, Baraka. You think if I stole my mama, she's going to say, that's a benefit you stole from me. She said, nigga, I kill you. You took something from me? Tip, if your mama and them had something for you, a Christmas toy or something, you went and broke that thing over, Now you're behind, ain't getting nothing. You little thief. But you see what? But he told you, when there was no Elohim, everybody did what was right in their own eyes. I don't want that ruach. I don't want that ruach. I don't want what's right in my eyes. I want to see this thing according to how he's established it. And I want to be appreciative for what he done. I want to be able to identify the way he wants to go, because you don't want to be in error. Error was good for us for a time, and I tell you why. Because error got us an opportunity to see how far you can get out. Oh yeah, things work out. Like when he said all things work together, what is just all of the good stuff? What is all things? Look at Joseph, who they call Joseph. That man was given a coat from his father, good or bad? Great. That man could see, had kalamu, dreams they had, good or bad? But when he told his brother hated him, good or bad? Bad. His brother and them decided to go take him and put him, and they were going to kill him, good or bad? His brother and them dug a hole and threw him in it and sold him off, good or bad? Then the man got pulled out, got sold off to Mizraim, good or bad? Then he got to Mizraim, and the captain of one of the houses took him and made him the second ruler in his house, good or bad? While he was in the house, the wife accused him of rape, and he never touched her, good or bad? He was thrown into prison for rape, good or bad? He told the guys the Kalamut that they had interpreted for him and told them what the outcome, good or bad? One of them that got out told Pharaoh what he had done. He was brought out from the prison, and Pharaoh brought him out and gave him a high rule, good or bad? Good. See that? You ain't gonna believe it. All things work together. That's right. All things work together for the good of them that are hardened. And you Yahweh called his purpose. That's what we're trying to make sure of, that we meet the purpose. Y'all said, so I know a lot of people say, so much be happening. Don't you know why it happened? Everything ain't got to happen to you because it's sin. If it gets you to consider. Don't always think, if I kick this, oh man, I'm sinning. Because our people, the people of Allah, I'm saying, not just rape, because our people looked at things happening bad to us always was an indication of wrong. Got it? And that's true in a lot of sense. They started to decipher whether or not, that's how they knew whether or not they was walking in the will of or they were working against. Got it? If me and my wife had a child and the child was born, stillborn, guess what we're supposed to do? Consider. Because he said none of your young should cast them before time. So we would have to sit down and consider what we got going on. What you've been doing. Let's talk about what I've been doing so we consider why this happened. So then it got to be an issue. He said, guess what? I'll let some things happen to you. It ain't because of sin, though. It's because I just still want you to consider. I don't want you to just consider when things. Think about it. If I'm in the will of him and nothing going wrong, what I'm considering? What I'm considering? I'm doing everything right. So he let something happen to me. Guess why? I just want you to think on. Because when trouble happens, nothing will make you think and consider your relationship with him more than trouble. A lot of times delusions will come in because things aren't, you ain't died, you ain't sick, or ain't nothing hurting, and now you feel like you're okay. And that can be a false premise. That could be a false premise. Because he said, I caused it to rain. You ain't going to believe it. On the Sadak, on the just as well. So I'm looking around. Guess what? It's raining. Oh, look at my Jesus. Won't he do it? Y'all see that rain there pouring down on me? And then I look over here and some sinners, it rained on them. I said, oh, they living right too. Goodness, man, all them folk, all of them living right. No, they're not. He said, don't fool yourself. He said, I caused it to rain on the just as well as the unjust. So you start to consider. And the only way to measure our ways is with the word. You can't measure your way by yourself. You'll be a fool. He talked about before, Shaul, how we're not as other that judge ourselves by ourselves. And so doing, we're not wise. He said we do it according to the rules. According to the rules. Now, we were taught that, how we don't judge ourselves by ourselves. Who will we compare that to? Hands? Hands? That's wow. Good one. How about when he started talking about how the man sat down and prayed? And when he prayed, he began to talk about how he was not like the sinner. Yahushua told y'all that. He prayed, he said he was thanking Yahuwah how he was not like that sinner, that transgressor. But then he went to the transgressor. He said the transgressor said, he just bowed his head and said, have come on me. And he admitted who he was. I was just a transgressor. He said, who was more justified? Because the other man justified himself because of other people. So he said in doing so, that's not wise. So if you go back and measure yourself according to the rule, that makes a difference. Know that you're right because you're lining in the measurement of what the word said and not because you're using other people. We've been bad about that. Somebody else ain't doing this, so that don't make you better. It could be two people in transgression. Versus you thinking you're right because you got something over one other feet over somebody else. Versus looking at, how about all of you could be wrong? So the only way to make sure what's right and who's right is to go back and use the measurement of the word. Y'all all right? So these are the things we think about today. With everything going on in the world, it's needful for all these things to happen. Because I think at the end of the day, it causes us to all really more consider our relationship of where we are. It take nothing, I tell you about, it don't take nothing to quit, nothing. All this is stopping, just giving up. It take everything to keep going. That's why I'm here. It ain't no if. People say, man, that take a lot to quit. No, it don't. That's a lie. That's a lie. Ask your heart, all these four hearts start. It don't take nothing. Listen, it's a harder effort for a heart to pump than to stop. A heart don't have to go through no stress to stop. All you gotta do is just stop beating. That's all it takes. Nothing to stop. Don't you know what it takes to keep going? Think about your heart, an enlarged heart, which is doing more work. A heart with fat on it. That's pressing a pump. That's a weight while they're pumping. You know what it takes? It takes everything for that heart to keep going. That's how you got to do. Hello? Quitting, that ain't no feat. That ain't no accomplishment other than quitting to commit kata. Hello? Quit lying to yourself. Quit living an illusion. Quit living a lie. That's about the hardest thing we got on quitting. Hello? But just stop serving Yahuwah. That don't take nothing. I can't do it. Not at this point in time where I'm at. Now, I know he said it's going to get so tight if he didn't cut it short. He said no flesh will be able to even endure it. I appreciate the fact that's a calm and a confidence I got then. Because you know some people, like sometimes you can go, I used to wonder when I was going to quit, when I was going to mess up, when I was going to do like all these other I mean, he done already prescribed what he going to do. He told me it's going to get tight, it's going to get hard. But if he wouldn't cut it short, he going to cut it short for us. And he said, and the work's still going to be right. The work's still going to be right. As hard as we think, man, it's too hard, it's more than what I can bear. No, that's not Yahuwah. And when you look at Cain, who they call Cain, after he had slew his brother, right or wrong? Wrong, dead wrong. Dead wrong. He saw a Torah instruction, a law came up behind that. You shouldn't kill your ox. Don't try, that's how bad it is. He said, you shouldn't kill your ox. You shouldn't do it. Even when they took Joseph and they were going to kill him, he said, hold on a minute, we can't kill our ox. This is an unforgivable sin. We couldn't kill him. That was Torah. He put that in place for us that we could still give Yahushua over, but our hands didn't do it. He put us in the place where we gave him over. They'll tell you that's a lie. The Jews killed Yahushua. I don't know where you got that lie from. No, we didn't. We gave him over. We just only consented to his death. That's a big deal. We did not lay hands on that man and put him on no tube. That's their stuff. Because our Torah told her, we can't kill our brother. Hello? This man set all this up because it was no way to put us in a state of being clean, and we were guilty of killing the man. We were guilty. We were complicit in the fact that we consented to his moot. Hello? I appreciate that. That, you know, he looked at, I'm not going to change no Torah for you now. I'm going to set this thing up where you can still be right, but the Torah still got to stand and be established. Hello? He gave us the ability to be able to find and understand you can walk. Think about people coming forward. How could you keep up with it? How could you walk according? It's too many mandates. It's too many things you got to keep. It's too many rituals. It's too many principles. It's too many. You got to kind of tweak and keep balances and make sure nothing get too low, make sure nothing get too high. You got to write this stuff all over your door. You got to do all this talking, continue. You can't, just like, man, I can't talk about nothing but the book. For a lot of people that came before us, I mean, you got to figure, these were forerunners. And through these forerunners' era, we kind of learn what not to do. That's how we learn what not to do. through their error. Can you imagine those people fall have come in and given us such an understanding, realizing I'd be a fool to do that. He tell you to go and do something and not to do something, and you go do it, and he got a whole list of these people. I told them to do something, and they did it, and I cut these people off. You won't want to be them, would you? Yeah, you ain't gonna believe it. We guilty. And now you look and say, wow, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed for the fact that I can't believe having the knowledge of all these people that came before, all these people that made these errors, one error, two errors, and cut them off. And I got all these opportunities. Number favor. Number favor to get around. Not, and like he said, he ain't given it to us that we should continue in Kataim. He said, oh, no. So that's what folks say. See what I thank the Lord for? Because the Lord paid for the sins I do. He done already paid for the sins I'm going to commit tomorrow. This makes me want to live right tomorrow. I walk in with a false security of I can continue in sin. This is the error of the doctrines. He never set us up to continue in sin. He said that con would abound. That makes no sense. I gave you favor to get from. I didn't give you favor to stay in. Hello? To prove that to you, when he brought him out of Mizraim, that was his con, his favor. What did he tell them when he brought him out? Not to go back. So if I go back, I still have that same favor that I had to come out. That's how I understand I can't go back to commit the same sin. No more than they could go back to Mizraim. I feel I just go there a little bit, sleep with my aunt, mess around a little bit, man. He said, you can't go back to that. That's what you came out of. I never brought you out to go back. Do y'all understand how religion have hurt us and people tampering? People want you to be on the same level of them as, you could try to live right. I'll be honest with you. You ain't going to be able to live right. That makes no sense. Only people would tell you that are people that already have their mindset set on, I'm going to falter. I need an excuse to justify my action. When you catch me, I told you before, see, we can't live right all the time. This is what people tell you lie, because people need to convince you to drop your level of achievement of living to the status he told you so they can be justified. I appreciate him. I don't know about y'all, I appreciate him. I appreciate the opportunity. They really sat back to consider and meditate on it, just look at it. You don't deserve it. You shouldn't have it. And when a person realizes how undeserved they are, they tend to show a little more appreciation. When Yahushua was sitting down and he had a young lady came in and she broke over an alabaster box and she began to anoint this man. She began to wash his feet with her hair. What you thought she thought about her hair? What did the book Akeem tell the women their hair was? Their kabod, for their glory. Why would you take your glory and put it and wash somebody's feet with it? Because she looked at, my glory is nothing to the glory of this man. This is a small feat considering what this man is going to give me to humble myself down and take my glory and give it all to him. Let all the preeminence, let all the obvious be unto him and not to me. See, he let you know this. Think about us. When he made us, he said, you Elohims. In the 10th chapter of the book of Yehukanan, he said, did I not say in your law, in your Torah, that you were Elohim? He said, if he called them Elohim, to whom the Debar Elohim came, he said, then the scripture can't be broken. He said, you can't change that. Can you imagine Elohim bowing down to Elohim? That's what we do. We bow down to him. Make yourself a no significant. Can you imagine? Because the only way I could really look and understand the estate of where he was. He said, do you understand where I was? When he told you, let him be like us and let him have, he said he was talking to me. He was talking to me. And then he came down and told man, humble yourself down, and I want you to move for these. I want you to serve these people. What do you think he thought about himself? He had to make himself of no importance. How else was I going to do it? How many had pride for stuff? Pride for car, pride for house, pride for clothes, pride for that. Can you imagine? He said, now put that down. That's who I am. I ain't finna stop being proud for nobody else. He wants you to humble yourself. But unless he had sent somebody before who had this great feat of completion of who he was, this great achievement, and came and made himself, you ain't gonna believe it, no reputation. Ain't even important. Who you need to know about is my Father. And yet he came out to be of an important feat of our salvation. But in order to first, he made himself a known person. Hey, why y'all talking? I'm Yahushua. No. He told him how to do it too. You know how he told him to do it? He said, let another man praise you, not your own lips. He already told you, to keep him humble. You think he didn't want to tell nobody? These niggas around here talking. These niggas talking about, yeah, one time I had this guy broke his leg, and I took some sticks and put them on there and tied his leg here. He said, boy, I want to cut. But these niggas don't know. They don't know what I do. I'll break everybody's leg right there and fix it on the spot. He said, no, I'm just keeping my mouth closed. Think about the ability he had. Listen, when the man came by, and a man was a lunatic, he caused the Rosha Ruach to come out from him. And they want to know, hey, why you here to cast out, torment up before time? Don't talk about that. Don't talk about it. Just go on. Go ahead and go on in the water. Go in them swine and run down and drown yourself. He didn't want nobody. He like, just talk with them guys and tell them stuff and listen. Don't tell nobody. Keep that right here. Keep him humble. Keep him humble. I appreciate that. Because with everything we got, you need humility. If you don't have no humility, you won't change. You won't change. You won't change. And I appreciate him showing us these things through all the things that he did. It gave us this great opportunity to realize when you feel like I'm nothing, we have to achieve that status with him so he can exalt you. You know, he said if you humble yourself, and in what time was it? Due time, he'll exalt you. 40 days, I get you up. 3, he got him up from the grave. At another 37, he took him all the way to Shamayim. And you ain't believe it, that was in due time. When they sent him through 42 generations in due time. He said, if you humble yourself, he said, I'll exalt you in due time. Everything worked out just like he told us. But when you look at it from the status of all your problems, when you deal it from the status of your financial situation, you deal it for the status of your hurt, it's hard to see it. It's just hard. It's mesmerizing. I ain't got time. Your mind ain't there. Your head ain't there, they said. Your head got to get there. Sometimes you see people out playing, you know they be out. You know what you're telling them? Get your head in the game. You can tell when people play, your head ain't in the game. They be trying to figure out what? Your head not in the game. Got to pull you out because your head ain't there. And you know what happened with us? This game time. Get your head in the game. Y'all got it? That being honest, focus on winning. Listen, all of us, we don't focus on losing. That's why we've been behind. Because with trying to obtain salvation, we'll let a lot of things get us out to the point where you start depleting. You start not performing to your full measure when it comes down to what he called us to do. That's the whole purpose of giving the description of what he wanted. Because I want you to get to the full measure of what I made you. Listen, every law that he gave you, the direction, I like looking at it as direction, instruction. Makes a difference. Law just some role, I don't get it. This is what I need you to do. I don't need you to impede this. I don't need you to go less than this. I don't need you to go more than this. This is what I need you to do. Y'all got me? This is your max and your minimum. So this is the direction. This is how I want you to go. Because in the beginning, when he created us, he wanted us to be like him. And the only way it said, let me see, really for them to be like me, they need to know what I know and do what I do. You know how they get these folks, the people that try to shoot like Michael Jordan, watch them. They'll get the number. They'll get the clothes color. They'll want the shoes. They'll even try to chew gum, cause they'll feel like all of these are attributes that he give off. And if I copy him, maybe this will let me be more like him. Y'all got what I'm saying? Well, the law written, that's what it's allowed to do. So how you think people were able to identify that Yahushua was the son of Elohim? Same words. Same words. Same word. See, America is one of the few countries, possibly, I don't know about a lot of them, more or less, probably more African country, Middle Eastern country. Kids, typically, sons follow the traits of the father. They typically say, and they might even tell them sometimes, you know what, I remember when your dad, I used to come and buy from your dad. And you remind me a lot of your dad. Because you're in the same craft and you do things the same pattern, the same way. Well, this is the same thing he's trying to do. If I want y'all to be like me, and I want to let you have, the only way to give it to you, you have to reach a certain measure, a certain point. Okay. That's me. Did that make sense to y'all? Yes, what I'm telling y'all? The salvation ride that people taking on, they be practical. They know it makes absolutely no sense. They just think if they just strive and go, you're going to get. You have to understand. You have to understand where you are and know there's somebody that cares for you more than what you think. There's somebody picked you over all these other people that you're envious of. Even Daoud told you, he said, don't fret yourself because of Rosh Hashanah. He said, they're going to soon be cut down. How? He said, just like the green grass. When a mower get on that grass, when that blade swing, that grass coming down, he said, going to be cut down just like the grass. They knew from the zen. They take that zen and they swipe it through. They ain't going to sit there and keep chopping. That ain't no tree. Grass, it just swelled through straight quick. He said, that's how quick they're going to be cut down. Hello? Even Daoud said, he said, I was envious of the foolish. He said he was. So you don't think it ain't going to happen? He said, I was envious of them. He said, I was jealous. He said, because, look, they strength is firm. They ain't have no bank. What the wicked worry about? Man, I can't do nothing. I mean, Saturday, I got to shut down. These folks work Saturday. Every move hard. They can play. They can drink. They can smoke. Ain't no adultery. Ain't no fornication. Come on, folks. You that be out there. You like, yeah, wow. If I could do all that. And then later on, you keep living and watching, he'll cut them down. They had to come back and had to admit, you just see something ain't going right. He said, it's an end to that. It's an end to all that stuff. See, we're doing something because we know an end coming in. We're looking for the beginning for us. Everything they're doing, the end is near on them. The end is drawing. Think about it. How much fun can you have? Every place that used to be open in 2019, open now. Every job still available that was available in 2019-20. Yahuwah shutting everything down. You go out the store, people got restriction, limit. I remember going to the grocery store, they had now 2 meats per, you said like, 2, I said, this a third word. I remember going in, we were down somewhere, we met down here at, not public, down at, I'd have had you start up. Food Depot. Somebody went to Food Depot. I met them down there. It was tight, Kenny. It's tight. I was on my way to Piggly Wiggly. That thing about to get me some fat back, some Strickling now. But no, we went down there. Somebody went down there and got, man, had burger. They were like 2 meats. Everything was 1 tissue. You see me like, are you serious? We living like that, people in line, masks. Folks sit, you like, man, lying long. One nigga hit the other one by the camera. You like, hold on for a minute, man. But everybody was scared. Everybody was fearful. Shelves were practically empty. You looking at, is this the end? As soon as these folks get a little time, you say, right back to playing. He told you, they right back to playing. And you heard, look, he coming right back on them. Did y'all know China got 60,000 people down? They losing about 60,000, I think they said a day or a month. 60,000 people. If you're losing 60,000 in 30 days, they said, and they still ain't getting the correct number. They forcing their hand, the organization, who? Yeah, the World Health Organization. They forcing their hand, telling them, y'all got to get up these real numbers. China like, yeah, them the numbers. They've been lying. You know, they've been claiming they had no death. They losing like 60,000 either a day or a month. It don't take long, but 60,000 people. You had what, 1.7 billion people? Yeah, who are wiping them. He taking everybody down. Listen, he unselling these numbers. America ain't gonna tell you the truth either. They gonna lie to you. More of these folks dying for their vaccine and everything else. But guess what? It's to get us to realize, don't put your trust in the uncertain riches. Look, they got a lot of folks ran behind, and they know them people dying. They gonna keep lying and keep high in number. Yahuwah showing you, ain't nobody getting away. They were sure they had made a cure. Yahuwah let them know, ain't no cure. I done wounded y'all with the wound of an enemy. He said, with the chastisement of a cruel one. He said, I take out babies too. What you think how a lot of these folks going and they baby dead? Yahuwah let them know, listen, I'm going to be cruel on you. I got to get everybody to turn back to the Torah. What is going to get us to turn back? It's unfortunate. What's going to get us to turn to him? It's going to take the destruction. It's going to take the unraveling of this stuff and the financing and everything coming on. This is going to get people conscious realizing we got to get back. This place is unsettling. If everything keeps going the way it was, in 2019, let people think about trying to get right. Wasn't no reason. Wasn't no disease. Wasn't no had to wash your hand every time look around. Even with that, they couldn't get by. People with masks were getting it. People at home getting it. Nobody else at home. They had one guy say he had been at home, hadn't been at home. He caught it 3 times at home. Everybody said, that's stupid. There's no way. You got to be around people. It's in the air. You can't keep that mask on the rest of your life. Already I told y'all in crowds of people, because these sick son of a guns will sit right in here knowing they COVID up and come right in there and start breathing on everybody in the store. Because they mad, they'll take it. I'm just telling you, people riding. They just riding. First they looking at, I don't want to affect, some of them in here. Some of these here been in here. They were all in these stores, riding around, breathing on everybody now, handing out money, blowing on the cash register. Oh, they ain't all out there. They don't use to telling that like they ain't all out there now. I had my COVID. I stayed at home. I went out to go get my test. I wasn't used to spread it. It made no sense. I ain't trying to get it. Well, CDC said, the CDC the one gave it to you. I definitely ain't listening to them. That ain't help nobody. What sense that make? Keep going. They'll tell you anything. I don't really, they trying to push you now because they realize they stuck themselves. These businesses shut down. So, yeah, they got to put you out here and keep pushing you to work for their benefit, but you're going to wind up dying. They need you to reinfect people, hoping you'll hit the right person, they'll die. At some point, you got to get conscious. That's just Yahuwah letting you know, these people don't care about you. These people start looking at they couldn't make their dollars. They can't get their product made, and they'll kill everybody for it. So that's why we got to get conscious and think and start considering the person that does care about us. That's Yahuwah. All right. So I guess we'll get and talk a little bit. I think we're talking now. If folk consider what we're talking about, it's time to get right. Time to consider our latter end. We can't afford to just keep playing and messing around. It's time for everybody to sit down, start taking inventory. Years ago, when you used to go grocery shopping, y'all ain't gonna do it now. You used to go through your cabinets, you went in your refrigerator, and you wrote you a list of things you need to get. See, that before time, people don't do that. They just run the store, just buy now. Years ago, you go through and you look through your cabinet, see what you're lacking, what you need to get more, look in your refrigerator and things. So when you went, you already knew what you would get. And if there was some room, you'll get some extra. I've been on where we at, looking at the list. It's too many necessities we need to buy extras. Y'all got me? When you look at how much money you got and how much you got to get, you ain't got no time to pick up nothing extra. That's where we at with Yahuwah. He said, hey, you can't afford nothing else extra. I'll be honest with you. You got too many necessity things you ain't even got. To buy some extra at this point will be just plain just dumb, because you still going to be lacking. That makes sense for y'all? That's where we at now. Let's go through and do inventory and look at what we're missing. Let's get the necessity. And if you got some extra, then go get it. I assure you when we get through, we ain't got nothing extra. Y'all got it? All right, we'll get ready. Let's see. We'll look at this here. We can look at the regular. We'll play between both of them. It's all the same thing in a sense. Make sure we get it right. Gotta get it right. Isn't that right? All right. This is Romans 15:4. Y'all know why we use this, right? Well, y'all need to know why you need a foundation. You can't build without a foundation, can you? That's everybody. See, I think what happened with most people, they're looking at, I think you need to know the last thing I guess the last thing for us to obtain is salvation. When I say the last thing to obtain, because then we need to go back and look at the first things we need to start doing. Salvation need to be offered to us first, and because you feel the need to get it, or you want to get it, you focus on that, then you need to go back and start considering what do I actually have to do to obtain it. You got what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people just look at, I'm trying to get salvation. You can say that, and you can keep your mind toward that, but if you don't know the basis of what you need to do to get it, that's all you won't be doing is one salvation. One salvation is not enough. If you don't meet all the prerequisites, it's a waste of time. It is. It's a waste of time. You just go and like that. I mean, with Christianity, the way we saw things before, for me, it looked like all you had to do was the harder thing was getting up from that seat and walking down there and saying, I want to be saved. Anybody remember that? Did anybody ever do that? Get up here to get out of your seat, walk down there and say, I want to be saved. And they'd be like, give them a hand clap. Got one, come on. Give him a hand clap. You be thinking, I did it. You ain't done nothing. You ain't done nothing. You could have stayed in that seat. Man, hard at Paul in that seat thinking, I get up, everybody gonna be looking at me, man. I gotta walk down here and they gonna ask me questions. I gotta do it. I wanna be saved. And we made that as though that was it. They be like, that's the first step, and it's really not. Because you need to know what you need to do first. Okay? Let's see something. This is Romans 15:4. Listen.
For what things soever Nikatab for our
It
lament,
was written to teach us, to show us, to instruct us.
that through endurance
Going through without quitting.
and the Nakum of the Ketubim,
On the writings.
we might have Tikva.
Let's look at Romans 10:1 since we're done. Let's see where Mr. Yahuwah wants to go with this. How about that? However he wants to go it the right way. Do you know if Yahuwah sent you the wrong way, that's the right way? Think about it. That's the way he wants you to go. Hello? It wrong. It won't work out for you, it's wrong, but it's still right with him. Because that's where I want you to go. Hello? Because if it's wrong for him to sing you that way, that would make him wrong. Then he couldn't be right. Then he'd be like us. Do you really want to fight somebody no matter what they do is right? You really want to fight somebody no matter what they do is right, and you want to try to show them how wrong they are? No, that's not who you want to fight. You want to get an understanding. This is 10:1. Listen.
Akeem, the will of my Lord indeed, and my palau to Elohim is for them unto Yeshua. For I bear them witness that they have a zeal of Elohim, but not according to knowledge. For they not knowing the Sadak of
Hold on,
Elohim.
let's see something. Said not. Let's see what knowledge is. We're gonna see it both ways. Let's see what knowledge is from Google, and which what range of information. Da'ath is the word they use for the Abari. Information. We talk about it, facts. Guess what? Think about this. I didn't think about it being facts. So you think about this. He said his desire to Elohim for Yasharal. Well, they use Yasharal, but we can safely know that he was talking about Yasharal based off the 9th chapter, because he talked about being accursed from them. So we know the whole conversation there was dealing with Yasharal. Maybe that Yasharal was added, because I noticed right there it didn't show Yasharal. It just said Akeem. But if you go to the 9th chapter, he clearly told you about how he was accursed from the Mashiach for Yasharal, who was his kin according to the flesh. Y'all got? Okay, let's see. But we'll look at that. How about that? So knowledge is what? Listen now. Facts, information, and skills required by a person through experience or the theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. I don't know if I agree with theoretical so much. I don't know about that part. Yeah, I don't deal with no theoreticals. You know what I'm saying? Those now I deal with facts, information, skills acquired, and this is what you look at through experience and education, through them being limited. So which will make sense if we look at the 6th chapter, right quick, the 6th chapter book of Yehukanan, 6:44. Let's look at what he said, so we know what we need to do. Yehukanan, they called John. From John, I don't know, we could have got the same identification to what the book actually called, what it's actually called, and why. All right, let's see this. Listen.
No Ish can come to me except the Abba, who hath shalak me, draw him, and I will coom him up in the last yom.
And then I'll raise him up in the last yom. What happened?
It is Katab.
Hold on, they ain't got that. All right, hold on. What? Hold on. We somewhere else? I know it, Jahi. He got something to do with it. How many of y'all hate stank attitudes? So we just want you to know how we feel about you. I hate them glasses. How many of y'all want to make it in the Malcool and you don't like them glasses? I'm telling you what I want to do. I looked at Leon, he was up here. I said, I want to snap them. He walked up. Why you didn't do all this? How we roll? I knew then. I said them glasses got him lifted up. I did. I seen that pride in his heart with them glasses. I hate them glasses now. I feel better now I got it out. Listen what happened.
It is Katab in the Nabaim,
And?
and they shall all be Laman of Elohim,
Everyone.
that hath Shama of the Abba, and hath Lamed cometh to me.
So now, when he tells us in the 10th chapter, let's see something. Let's go back to, we talked about what it is facts, information, education, okay? Acquired by personal experience, okay? So now we go back to 10 and 1. 10 and 1. Listen.
Akeem, the will of my Lord, indeed, and my Palau to Elohim is for them unto Yeshua.
Under salvation.
For I bear them witness
Yeah.
that they have a zeal of Elohim,
But,
not according to knowledge.
can we see zeal? I think we looked this up before, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Let's see what zeal is. He showed Arthur down at the bottom. Y'all seen zeal, zealous. The Greek word is zealous. And they're probably hyping now, they're pronouncing it. Oh, this is the word for it. Jealousy or envy. And the root comes from where? To be zealous, to make zealous, envious, to move. Let's see what the move to provoke. Okay, let's see about, I could work with that. Let's see what the English is, please. Hold on before you move. Hold. Did somebody take a picture of this? Okay, it's already sent. All right. Huh? All right, assistant. We're gonna call you Assistant K. You know, have Sister K, you'll be Assistant K. All right, come on. What a little nasty attitude to white at. Listen at great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an object. His zeal for privatization, that's different. That's different than how it quotes it out from the Abari. So he talked about them having a jealousy, which will make sense. Because you got to remember, he told you that he was a jealous Elohim. So it would make sense that Yasharal would be jealous. Let's see. Let me sure we're right. Let's see Barashit. Let's say that 1 and 26. 1:26. Barashit. They call Genesis. That word, let me say, hold on, before you move, I'm sorry. Y'all want the picture, get this? So the word will be quana. Quana. Now the Greeks might have a different word for it. But the Abari give it this definition, the Greeks will probably have another one. This is what they call New Testament, which means the Greeks will probably use a different word. But from here, when you look at zealous, is where it goes back, the root back to. This is the primitive root of the word, and it calls to make jealous, well, zealous, quana, to be zealous. This is different than what we just saw. Oh, you had to check it out. So quana, kina, jealousy or envy. Is this the root? Not the root. This is from the 7065. And then we went to the 7065. Okay, to make zealous. But there they'll go and say jealous. Okay. Move to, provoke to, jealousy, very zealous. Okay. 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 1:26, Barashit. Okay, listen.
And Elohim said, let us make Ish according to our image and likeness, and
We
let them
talked
have
about that
dominion,
before, image.
and let them have dominion over the
Likeness will be kind or similar. Hello? I think likeness will be like similar or kind. A resemblance. So, I mean, if you use that, the jealous, and the jealousy actually worked out for us. It actually did. First of all, we saw Yahushua. We saw Yahuwah and how he worked toward us with a jealousy. When he saw us we got to understand when he told her he was a jealous Elohim, that we understood that situation only because he used it to provoke us. He looked at, you're provoking me. When you know my status, you know my situation with you, you be a fool to try to look at another Elohim. You be a fool to try to go and do a service that I told you to do for me, that you will sat and you will burn something to it or incense to it when it could actually do nothing for you. That will provoke me to turn against you. So now, when we saw that situation happen, saw how it worked toward us, then he put us in a situation where he said, you know what? I'm going to turn from you and go over him. It's just like your son, he let you. Now, you want to push him up and go get another kid left. He going to be looking, trying to figure out, what you doing? He going to see you playing with another kid, giving that. I know some kid like that will run into you and be like, ain't no kid finna outdo me in front of my dad and mama. That's my attention. That's how we understood it. So now he used that to, guess what we did? We tried to come back and tried to appease him now. We wanted to get that favor, that con we lost with him, by us coming back saying, if that's what my father likes or that's my mom, I'm going to do it. Since that's what they seem to draw to, and that's what they have conversation about it, and they seem happy about another kid doing that, then I'm going to become that child because I want you to be happy with me. So that's how it worked. We had that same similitude. So it would make sense that he would tell us about us being jealous, because that worked back to our benefit of trying to get back into the con, back into the favor of Elohim. So we took it for granted. We assumed he went because he had never sought another arm, another people. He had never gone after another people. We just already automatically assumed he was ours regardless. Nobody could take that spot. Y'all got what I'm saying? But yet when he looked at, I turned away from you and I started to favor other people. And guess what? He still never broke his word when he told you he never sought or went after another people. The only people he actually went after were people that did what you were supposed to do. So if you be honest about it, you say, you say you never sought another people, you never went another people. You went after her. I went after her because she did what I told you to do and you didn't do it. So I actually went after the behavior. The behavior is actually what drew me to you. That's why I gave it to you. So if another person exemplified the behavior, I never went against what I said. This is what I was attracted to. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you. That's what the man did. The man was able to still keep his word and show you. It wasn't you for the flesh. It was you because it was a behavior I was looking to. There's some people that'll date people or marry people, and people say, well, they not that. Why are they married? They say it's because it was some inner in them that I drew to, and not the outer exterior. So a lot of times he told him, it's nothing new. He told him they came and he picked Daoud. When he went through and seen all his Akeem brethren, he said, surely Yahuwah had chosen. He said, no, don't Mashiach though. He said, I don't see as you see. You're looking on the outward appearance. He said, I'm looking on the law. So when we kept thinking that our outward appearance did it, just like we put on the festival clothes. In the 3rd chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, they call Isaiah. He said, you know what? Y'all haughty. And you walk with stretched forth necks and one eye. He said, that's why I'm going to uncover your secret parts. He said, I'm going to take away all that. He said, I'm going to take away the braid, all the tinkling you had on your feet. We wore a whole bunch of ornaments, the stuff about the hair, the stuff. He said, I'm going to take all that away. And he did all that. He said, because listen, I'm going to leave a stricken people. This is going to humble you down. All the stuff you got actually gave you too much pride. And your pride comes just before a fall. Okay, trying to help us out. You don't have to say it that way. Okay, so we can come back over the way here on the 10th chapter. So this is the Abari word for it. Dem author. For resemblance and likeness. This is for likeness. Fashion, like, likeness, manner, similitude, model, shape, or like. Y'all got it? Okay. Resemblance. Okay. 10th chapter. Okay. So 2, verse 2, 10th chapter, book of Romans. 4.
I bear them witness that they have a zeal of Elohim,
Or they're zealous, or could be jealous.
but not according to knowledge.
See that? It's not according to facts. And that's what we're trying to look at now with a lot of people. A lot of people can have a desire toward or trying to serve him, but a lot of times is it a fact? Just like Christians, to say that Christians don't have or not zealous toward or don't have, I don't think in a sense it would be fair. It's just they don't have the facts. So we don't have the facts. I mean, where's it going to lead you into but doing something the wrong way? Because I don't have the facts. I don't have the experience. Christianity does not allot the experience of what you need in order to obtain salvation, because it has too many limits. It's things you don't go back and look at. You just stay new in New Testament, but it limits you on having knowledge of how things actually came into play. So it's important for us to be versatile, just like the olive is. You have to be versatile. You know what I'm saying? Be willing at every point to avail yourself on every end. And that's what the olive could do. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it could plow, pull, lead, teach a younger, it can protect, it can feed, it can even give its own self. I mean, that's the versatility he looks for. Elohim is versatile. We have to be versatile. And a lot of times we're not. Hello? We have too many limitations and restrictions. We got too many hang-ups, and a lot of times that puts us outside of the criteria of what he seeks for those he's looking to save. So all these things we have to go back and look at. This is a people who he chosen for himself, and yet he's going back and he's dissecting what the problem is. So even we read earlier when Yehukanan and Yeshayahu telling us, he said, all of your benim shall be taught of me. Yasharal was called the benim of Yasharal. He said, all of them going to be taught of me. I'm looking at them, they have a jealousy, they have a zeal. They're zealous about, but guess what? They lack facts. And let's see why.
For they, not knowing the Sadak of Elohim and seeking.
See that? That's something right there, not knowing the facts. They don't know the facts about it. A lot of things people, that's us, that's what we're trying to do, find the facts. They said, get on a fact-finding expedition. Because you'll think it don't matter. Well, you just got to trust him. No, he said, I'm looking at these people don't have no facts. This is stuff we don't read this how many times in our life possibly. But when you start really dissecting from, let's look at words and look at word meanings. Let's look at connotation to words. And then start looking at what is he actually saying? What kept these people from getting it? What if you pray? People say all the time, son, you just got to pray. Pray more. People say pray. What sense it made me to pray when I don't have facts? What am I praying about? How do I even know how to ask? Okay, listen.
For they, not knowing the Sadak of Elohim and seeking to establish their own, have not submitted themselves to the Sadak of Elohim.
See that? They were zealous about him. I don't think jealousy might quite fit in this part of using zeal, having the zeal. But I think them showing a desire for would be more common in this writing of what they're saying. But you can see you can have I really want to know, but if you don't have facts, you're still going to be outsider. You know what people look at? You just got to be earnest. That'll start and work for an end, but when you get earnest, there's some work you got to put in. You can't just keep being using honest. Honest got to come in with some facts. I can't allow you, because if you honest, then I'm going to give you what you need, and you got to be willing to restrict yourself and to follow. You can't keep honest. Well, as long as you just stay honest, that starts off good. You want to be honest. That's part of your repentance. But at the same time, you honestly need to have facts. Because when you don't have facts, then you're going to be challenged. You can't come up with no scientific analytic formula and no another scientific. Where you get that from? You got a computer algorithm you're going to put out and say, well, there's somebody coming over and say, where you get that? That's not right. That's incorrect. So when you're talking about establish yourself for salvation, you're going to be checked on your facts. In the 4th chapter of the book of Matthew, you don't have to get it. When Yahushua had went without eating, that's honest. He even told him something come by what? Fasting and Palau. And what was he doing? Fasting. And what he wound up getting doing? He got fact checked. If you be the Ben Elohim, command these stones to be turned into bread. He said it written that each don't live by bread alone, but by every word proceeded from the mouth of Elohim. He said, well, you be the Ben Elohim, cast yourself down, because it's written that if you cast yourself down, that he was going to send his mouth a key, lest you dash your foot against the stone. He said, it's written you shouldn't tempt him. He said, come on, I tell you, so come on, boy, come on. Look at this stuff here. You see that? Look at him. Look at all the empire. I give you all this, bow down and worship him. He said, written that you should only serve Yahuwah Elohim, he's the only one you're supposed to serve. He was getting fact checked. I want to see where you're at. That's all. Don't you know you're going to be fat? They ain't going to come and say, oh, you good. I ain't even going to try you. Why I ain't going to try you? Why I'm not going to try you? I need to get fact checked. He had facts. That's what kept him from doing it. And you're going to get tested. You're going to give in, because if you be asked to be honest with yourself, you don't really know all the facts. Because people just told you just believe and trust. That's not a formula. That's not a formula. You gotta believe it as it was said. That's important for you to know then what was said. Don't y'all know y'all start dealing with translation? Do y'all understand how many translations of writings are out here now? See that 738 for a second. Let's see something. Let's look at that. Let's see how about that? Let's see how trustworthy we can do. How about that? Is that making sense for y'all? Your Ukanon, 7:30. I do 7. Just cause it right. That's why I put it up there cause it right. I said, why you write up there? Cause it right. Hello? Cause it right. Ain't no reason put up there other than it right. Let's see what he said. Listen.
And on the last, the great Yom of the Muhad, Yahushua stood in Syach saying,
What did he cry?
if any each thirst, let him come to me and drink.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many people don't understand that statement? Don't understand what he just said? Good. So everybody understand. Now I'm going to pick somebody to find out so don't raise their hand. Because that's tight, ain't it? Who I'm going to pick? Everybody understood that statement? What that meant, Josh? Great. What that meant? Yeah, I was out watching the camera. All right, well, you out here now. You raise your hand. Did you raise your hand? What's the question? And on the last and the great Yom of the Muhad, Yahushua stood in Syach saying, if any each thirst, let him come to me and drink. I just picked somebody to say. All right. Aha. What is that? Think about what now? Say it louder. You right. You right. That's right. How many of y'all had the same answer? In the 13th chapter book of Zechariah, the book told you how he said in that there was going to be a fountain open to the house of Daoud. It was going to be for drinking. It was going to be for uncleanliness. It was going to be for purifying. That's why he told them to come and drink. Everybody who knew the Torah knew what he was talking about. That's why it's important to know what he's saying. But if you don't know the Torah, what that sound like? That sound like he's sitting there with a little cup with a crystal spring. You want one? There you go, man. Take that up now. You want some? The man got no crystal spring lake over there. That man was talking about he was going to owe him up. That's why they told he was on the tooth. That's why you knew what came out. Dumb and what? Guess what it was for? It was for purifying. It was for drinking. Everything he did. What was the dam for? For purifying. And you can even use water for it for drinking. So it made sense when he told us that he was, let's see right quick, 13th chapter book of Zechariah. How about that? Zechariah. They're called Zechariah. Zechariah. 13:1. Listen.
In that Yom, every Malchum shall be open to the bet of Daoud and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and for removal and for Kadash.
Mm-hmm. What happened? 2.
And it shall come to pass in that Yom, saith Yahuwah of Sabaoth, I will utterly destroy the Shem of the idols from off the Arats, and there shall be no longer Zakar of them, and I will cut off the false Nabaim and the Rosha Ruach from the Arats.
Drop that down. One here reads differently than it reads him. Place open to the house of Daoud and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for removal and for separation. Be a fountain open to the house of Daoud and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem from washing of sinners and of unclean women. In that Yom, there should be a fountain open to the house of Daud and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for Kataim and for uncleanness. Look at that Beth HaMashiach. Let me see that one. I want to see how the Greeks record at the bottom. They should definitely be similar. Both Greeks. Woo. Wide to the house of Daud and to the ones dwelling in Jerusalem for removal and for sprinkling. It didn't say sprinkling there, did it? The Greeks have put sprinkling. In this writer, he recorded saying they put sprinkling. It didn't say sprinkling in the other one. It said separation. He said, and for sprinkling. Okay. Which the removal would have been under Kataim, sin and impurity, sprinkling. Okay. Well, that makes sense for the sprinkling. In the hands, why? Hold on. Y'all know the hall I rank y'all. If the hall get it wrong, come back here. Who in the hall had their hand up? So everybody in the hall putting their membership on that. I can't hear y'all. Everybody in the hall got their membership on it. Huh? They said, huh, why they ain't got no, man? All right, the hall. They go, come on, hall, for everybody. Come on. He said, not for me. No, I know. Come on, come on. Because we still wrestling with that crack pipe thing, ain't we? Come on. Yeah, that's right. Because everything that was by the Torah, he used the sprinkling of Dom. So he took it, he sprinkled everything that was going to be a part of the Torah. He sprinkled the book, he sprinkled all the instruments, and he sprinkled the people. That's what enjoined them. See, how you understand it and how you know it is when a man, that's why the practice was supposed to be when a man came and he laid with a woman and she was supposed to be in her virginity, she was supposed to have blood. So his rod had the blood on him. That's what enjoined them. So when they came along and when Mushah spoke every precept, he took hyssop and he took the dung, he sprinkled everything that was by the Torah, everything Yahuwah told him to make that was symbolic, they had for, everything had to be sprinkled with the blood. That's what enjoined them together. He took it, everybody, and all the people, he sprinkled them. That's how they was enjoined to the Torah. So now guess what happened? Since me and my wife would come together, say, she was, hypothetically, she was Banuth, right? I mean, Bethula Bergen. So when I came in and she would have given the dom, right? And we enjoying. Now, if I went and I started to have a relationship with another woman, that would be like me going against the law. Because the dom is what enjoined us. See what I'm saying? So now I would have violated the Torah. That's why he was so adamant about the destruction, because you've gone outside of. Y'all understand now how that worked with the sprinkling of? So now when he sprinkled them, guess what? Now you're enjoying to it. You're connected. People, like you'll find some people tell you that the marriage is not consummated until the sex act happens. Y'all see? Because that's when she was supposed to give the dom. So now this will enjoin you now. Hello? Why y'all think he told you that marriage is honorable than all? Hello? And don't defile the bed. Hello? Because there's a law that was imputed to say that this act is done. Because it's been done according to the Torah. When two people go and do it like these other groups say, well, marriage, that's just what people say. That's just words or whatever. You ain't got to do all that. If that's the case, if you just have sex in marriage, then I don't know how you got fornication. You couldn't possibly have fornication. If it's just sex, it don't make sense. Nobody could be a fornicator. Everybody after the first act, if you were with anybody, would be an adulterer. Because they're so adamant on just trying to get responsibility. They'll go get a driver license. That's a card. They go get a birth certificate. They just don't need no marriage license because they're man. Where the book told you had to have a birth certificate? Where in the Bible it told you to go and get a driver license? See, they always want to get out. We ain't trying to get out of them other than getting out of sin. And one way to get out of it is by having facts and knowledge, by having experience. Got it? These are the things he said. This is why Yasharal has an issue. Because they're not dealing with facts and they don't have an experience with me. Okay. What is that? To sprinkle, to spatter. Oh, he went and looked at his book at home. What's that in the book of Abarim? You looking at that? Was the 9th chapter, 23? 9:23, I think. 21. But and why he getting this, which is so y'all guys will see it, and you will that's 9:19. We'll look at Abarim. See, people don't look at where the violation coming. It's like now if you look Abarim 9:19, like if you look at now, even with adultery ain't looked at the same way like it used to be. Adultery was like unforgivable. It was, man. People look at man, everybody in your family be looking at you crazy. I mean, even though people snuck in it was years back, that was serious. I'm gonna tell y'all something. In the 70s, I had aunt somebody did divorce. If you was a woman, you divorced. Boy, look at him. The worst thing you do is come to church. A divorcee? You remember you do that term now? They call them divorcee. Hold on for a minute. Like, why you look at her? You older than everybody almost on this earth. So that man looked at your wife like, baby, you remember that? Yeah, like he ain't never heard divorce. Yeah, but they don't use them terminology. They used to call a woman that was like a nasty word. If a woman was divorced, they'd be like, she divorced. It like back earlier, women stayed in a lot of stuff with men because of how bad they made the look of being divorced was. So divorce had such a negative connotation because that meant that you had separated. So guess what happened? Why y'all think we've been made to look like the people we are? Because don't you know it's shameful for you to be divorced from Elohim? It's a shameful act. Especially if it be on you now. You like, why you divorced? It better that they messed up, not you. Then people say, oh, that's wrong. That shit. People used to talk. They be, listen. Folks, listen. People just looked at you different. Like now, it's so common now, it's nothing. Divorce is like the new single. But years ago, they had this look on it. It had this connotation with being a divorcee to where it looked like, ooh, but they say that stuff. I was like, hey, where your husband? He said, I'm divorced. That's divorced. That means she done failed then. You had this connotation. And the reason why you look at why that connotation was there, if you think about it, because it looked bad when you find out you're not with Yahuwah. And it's your fault. See what I'm saying? How people look. So we look at the natural things that we dealt with, gave us an idea of how things projected with us. So having these natural events happen, we understood. Just like when Mushar, when he talked about how he did this with every precept. What happened, Basa? Abarim 9:19. We'll look at what you put out there, too. No, I'm good. We can work it. Listen, I got folks stick their head at that door and holler. Anytime. I can handle anything. Don't do it! I caught it. He closed it back. Yeah. 19:9. Listen to this. This is Abarim they call Hebrew. Listen.
For when every Amar of the Torah had been ready by Mushah to all the by Mushah to all the
what he did?
He took the dam of the calves and goats with ma'im and scarlet wool and hyssop and sprinkled both the sefer itself and all the arms.
See that? See that? Everything. The people were hearing it. Guess what happened? Y'all know that? You know what Yahushua told the people? He told them, now you are clean. You ain't going to believe it. No. He said, through the word. He said, through the word which I've spoken to you. You understand how we understood that? Because when Mushah was speaking to us, he was sprinkling us at the same time. So when Yahushua was talking to us, he was sprinkling us. He was sprinkling us when he was talking to us. We just didn't catch it. Why? That's what he told them they were clean through the word which he spoken to them. What this meant if those people were sprinkled with the blood? They were contaminated. They were clean. They was enjoined to. Just like we came out Mizraim, when he put the dome on the doors, guess what it did? It made them clean. Why you think he didn't, when the Ruach came down to destroy these people, why you think it didn't destroy the people who had the dome on the door? Because they were purified. They were purified. You see how it makes sense? The book says, seeing you are purified, you ain't gonna believe it. Your nefesh. First you gotta obey your nefesh, your inner man, through obeying the truth. And then you ain't gonna believe how your heart gotta be. Unpretended. Don't pretend. Y'all see that? And how he showed you to do it, he said, see that you are hard one another. Yes, sir. See that makes a difference. That gives us the direction. Isn't that right? Actually, that puts a little emphasis on it, because now you got to do it fervently. It can't be. That's to prove it ain't pretending. Hey, all right. Yeah, all right. Hey, you say I love that man. Y'all say I love that brother just like I love myself. What gave me away? You said that fake kind of played in there, didn't it? But I did. I tried to pretend and show it off. See, that's what he tried to show us. He said you can't be pretending with it. He said do it first. Because, if you really ain't first, you can't fake that one. You can fake that. Yeah. Wait. You can do that for him. But to get closer, that thing dying out. Go back. It went from waving to go back. Because you've been putting him in a bad situation. And then first, I got to do this effort and I got to do all that. You're like, goodness, boy. I ain't going to be able to pretend this one. I got to get it right. But he knew that's how we're going to do it. Because you just ask a person, what a person going to say? Of course I'm saying pretending. Well, put more effort into it. And if you really don't like it, you can't do it. It just ain't going to allow you to do it. So everything he gave, it makes sense when you look at it. So now look what he did. He took the dam of calves, goats with ma'im, and the scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book, the sefer, which is the scroll of books, itself and all the arm. Everybody heard it. And let them know, this is enjoying. Let's see what happened. Next verse at 20. Listen.
Saying, this is the dam of the testament, which Elohim hath enjoined unto you.
Guess what? I just attached you to it. That's how you attach to the marriage. I just attached you to it. See, you didn't even know that. You didn't even know that. Listen, in the 7th chapter of the book of Romans, he said, listen, I'm going to talk. You ain't going to believe who I'm going to talk to. Them that know the Torah. Why I'm going to talk to them? I'm going to slap them glasses so hard. Is there still a law where you can't punch a man with glasses and hit a person with glasses? Oh, guess what I'm going to do if it is? I'm going to slide them glasses off. I'm going to punch him in the eye, then I'm going to put them back on. I'm going to say, officer, if you can see, he had the glasses off when I hit him, then he stuck them on. Isn't that right? But no, he was talking to them because he's talking to them, you're speaking to them that know the law because they're going to understand how the law works, how the law has dominion, which means it rules over. As long, you know what, when you got to obey the law till you die. Guess what else how you got to stay faithful to your spouse? That's why I need to talk to people who understand the principles of the law because they're not going to understand that. Because you stay married and you can go get another one, in 5 minutes. Lisa Presley stayed married to Nicolas Cage for 100 days. That's the truth, she did. 100 days. She stayed married Michael Jackson. I don't think a year they made it. See what I'm saying? Because she did. Why you think? We criticize people. Think about this. She don't know. Guess what? She didn't have facts. Does that mean she wasn't zealous? She couldn't have been zealous? Yes, she could have been zealous. But when you don't have facts, when you don't have experience, when you don't have the education about the Torah, you're going to go wrong. Why y'all think? Listen, we were in a situation where we went wrong and we found we were wrong because we didn't have facts. We didn't have the education concerning the Torah, how the Torah. We didn't have the experience being groomed and grown how it worked. Now we come into some knowledge and now we go against some things. Now you get into willfully doing. A lot of times we accuse people and criticize people. They don't have the facts. You're only getting facts because we're going back to research. They don't have no churches. And like they said, them folk not going through that. When them folk read it, that's what it is. Nobody finna go through no Google and run through no, what's the other site I be using? No, etymology and then the other one, the DuckDuckGo. Anybody got time for all that junk? Everybody, nigga, you better duck and get out of here. Ain't got time for you. The Spirit talking. One for me, nothing for the chimps. So people don't realize how important it is that he give us the ability, because when you start doing stuff like that, word searching people, oh, they ain't spiritual. All we're trying to do is understand what you told us, because we can see how detrimental it is when you think you know and you can be wrong. And being wrong don't equal salvation. So now we want to go back and look, when Shaul spoke, this man, Elohim Yahushua done revealed to him, Kazum, all this information. And he done came and taught these people in the 17th chapter of the book of Acts of the Charlotte King, and they went to searching behind him, whether it was so. Because guess why? They're looking at facts. I can't be saved if it's not facts. I can err if it's not a fact. That ain't I don't trust Elohim. That's I need to make sure I understand what you told me. How can I do something I don't know? Hope, pray, and trust. Are you serious? When I'm supposed to be taught, then I know what they quote unquote call hope I'm supposed to do. Then I know what I'm supposed to trust when I have the facts, when I have the experience. I can't do it when I don't have facts. I can't do it when I don't have the experience. I can't do it when I don't have the education. In the 29th chapter, you have to get in the 29th chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, in the 10th verse, he said, and the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I ask you. And he said, I cannot. Why? I'm not learned. I don't know how the word that's going to happen. But if you just hope, pray, and trust, this is supposed to. People got the Bible. Man, my granddaddy, he could read the Bible. 3rd grade education. Man, read it. And your granddaddy had no facts. Y'all never heard that before about old folk didn't read, and folk could read the whole Bible, but they were Baptists. Good, they really read it? Think about how many times we heard that. My granddad had a 5th grade education. That man quoted the whole Bible. What was it? Baptist. Your granddad did better just say he was a dummy and left that book closed. Right. See what I'm saying? Because you calling words don't mean you have the experience or the education. That's how dangerous it is, because you thinking you memorize some stuff that's enough. Y'all, he didn't say Yashral couldn't read. They were Zayas. He said, but you really don't have the knowledge. You really haven't been, and you don't have the experience for what you're doing. And to prove it, look how you going to do your own stuff. Come on. Saying what?
Saying this is the dam of the Berith which Elohim hath enjoined unto you.
Come on.
The Mashakun also and all the vessels of the Sharath, in like manner he sprinkled with dam.
You see that? The Mashkun and all the vessels. It makes sense. In the book told her, listen what it said told her. Listen.
And almost all things according to the Torah are cleansed with dam, and without shedding of dam there is no remission.
Y'all hear that? There was no way them folk were going to be purified. There was no way to cleanse them folk without dam. And get what I said? Why they had to kill him? Why they had to make him bleed up there? Right there, sir, ma'am. You're a dummy. There's no way to cleanse you without dam. Then you see why when Zechariah, when he told them how there was going to be something to the house of them and for sprinkling, what you think they were going to know for sprinkling? They thought he was going to put an irrigation system in. And when the grass started getting brown, he'll cut it on and all the grass get wet. What would they know the fact that the book told them about sprinkling? They knew it was for purifying. That was going to enjoin them. And almost all things according to the Torah are cleansed with dam, and without shedding of dam, there is no remission. Remission is removing. When a person has cancer, they tell them they're in remission. That means they still got some cancer. What that mean? You still got sin. Then you don't have remission. See, that's why he has a problem when Yahushua came in and taught the folks about us getting immersed, because it went along with the dam he gave. That's why it's important with having the dam, having the ma'im, the waters, because you got to have it for cleansing as well, for purifying, and for the remission. That's for the removing. Oh, let's see what it says. Acts 2:37. Let's see what he told them right quick. How about that? And we'll come back. Yahuwah willing. (2:37). Listen.
Now, when they
here, do me a favor. Just walk by that way. Come on that way. No, come around that way. Come around that way. These kids need something to live in. These kids, come on now. That kid gotta know. That's what I'm talking about. Let them kids gotta know. Them kids gotta know. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Let them kids say. Ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse. Them kids say, he's a command. He's just a command. Look at them kids. Y'all see that swing? Probably one time. They'll kick it back one time. Just throw that thing back. That's what I'm talking about. And they talking about they don't know. They don't know. Y'all see it for yourself. See that? You hoot again. All right, your time up. You know about. I knew he was gonna stay too long, didn't he? He's talking, this a commandment. Listen, this 2:37. Acts of the Shalom, they call it. Listen there.
Now, when they had Shama these things, They had compunction in their love.
Pricked in their heart. Listen.
And said to Cuff and to the rest of the Shalakim, what shall we do, Anashim and Akim?
Listen.
But Cuff said to them, do penance and be immersed.
What did y'all do, repentance? Repentance is that Roman word. I think it's a little different. I think when you go back to look at, I want to say, William Tinsdale, he didn't use penance. He didn't use penance. I think because of some connotation that it had. It had a Catholic connotation. So he'll write it, he actually didn't use penance. See, yes, sir. I did something wrong. Penance, voluntary self-punishment, infliction as an outward expression of repentance for having done wrong. A Christian sacrament in which a member of the church confesses sins to a priest and is given absolution. So I think that, yeah, if I'm correct, I remember reading before, he wouldn't use penance because of the connotation. Now, Tinsdale was European as well. He wouldn't use it because of the connotation of what it actually kind of symbolism. See, a lot of time when you go back through a lot of these translations, there's a lot of things you have to kind of watch people on. A lot of time they'll say, well, they just wrote it so it's more modern. And we'll look at that and we'll see for ourselves, is it more modern or is it more detrimental? How about that? I know they say, because we don't talk like that now, and now we talk like this, and a lot of times you have to watch because people learn how to interject certain things in that you'll miss. You won't even realize. A lot of times they'll, I can't say that. I'm going to tell you something. A feeling of guilt or moral scruple that prevents or follows the doing of something bad. Spending money without compunction. How about you spend the money without money because you use a credit card? See, you know about that, did it? Huh? You can spend money without money. Oh, I done messed them up. That's a enigma wrapped up in a nigga. Hello? Kind of like a pig in the blanket. Y'all understand things? I know if Porky Mike was here, he understand it.
He tried to pull that pig around the blanket, and I lay the blanket down and eat the pig.
All right, come on. And he told us, and do what? And be what?
And be immersed.
Who?
Every one of you.
How?
In the Shem of Yahushua HaMashiach.
For the what?
Remission of your katim.
See that? For the removing of, otherwise you still have it. See, he gave you everything you needed right there. You had the dam that he offered, and you needed the ma'in, because it was a form of purifier, washing away. He said for the removing of. See, if you don't look at remission, I heard remission before. You know what I'm saying, a lot of things as a Christian I never looked at as what does the word mean. It just looked at that's what it say, that's what it is. You just go. I mean, you don't question it. If you don't understand, they say if you know something, say, well, they said pray about it. So you pray about it and you still don't know. Whatever comes in your mind, you say, well, I prayed, the Lord gave, that must be it. And you'd be completely wrong because you don't understand the word. So a lot of time for us going back and understanding something makes sense. It don't make sense if you've done it that you still have it, because the only reason you took on the immersion was for the removing of. You see that? And when a person in remission of cancer, if we know it to be a disease, that means they don't have it anymore. So you need to understand what state he put you in. The fact that it was removed means you had it before. Hello? Okay. All right, let's see. We'll get back. What we were actually talking about the 7th chapter of the book of Yochanan. Let's see. All right, 7:37. Listen.
And on the last and great Yom of the Muhad, Yahushua stood in Siyach, saying, "If any each thirst, let him come to me and drink."
Listen. 38.
He that among in me, as the Kitab he that among in me, as the Kitab saith, out of his belly shall flow Nahar of Kai Ma'im.
Listen what he's talking about now.
Now this he said of the Ruach, which they should receive, who among in him, for as yet the Ruach was not yet given, because Yahushua was not yet Kabul.
So it was that important for them to make sure that it was meticulous, that you had to believe it just like he said it. Okay? Now, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pull me up a translation. The one that I know we used last night, had show all the different translations. You remember that one? pull that up. I think, let's see. Let me think about something. Let's see, pick something. See if it's Mark 9:23. Let's see what that say. I'll just pick something. How about that? We'll just pick something. I'm correct. Might have played with it. Let me see. Mark 9. I think it's 9:23. Someone. Hold on. No. 39. Jump down. See if it's 27. He should have talked about when the worms don't die. Hold on. Why I'm thinking 9. Why was I thinking 9:23? No. Should be Mark there. Should be talking about them where the worms don't die. Is it 28 verse? And the fire not quenched. We just look at that. I'm just curious to see. And now I can find it somewhere else. How far 9 go? 30 or 33? Oh, 44? Let's see. Okay. So make it 43. 43? Okay. That's good. That's good. You had it. I wanted 43. I wanted 43. Let's stop. Let's see. No, stroll up. Stroll that way a little bit. Come on, keep going. Up. Keep going. That's it. Huh? Oh, it does. Let me see 6 and see that Kazun. See if it's 6 and 8. Kazun, they call Revelation. As a matter of fact, you probably have to go there. Is that Bible Hub? Do that, stop. Go back there again. Let me say it again. Do it in Bible Hub. Let me show you the different translation. In that Bible Hub. Or this one that show you the different one. You put in 9:23. I mean 9:43. Or Mark. I'm just curious. Let me see. 3. Let's show you different translation. That's 44. All right. At 43? 42? Let's say 42 over there. Okay. Go up. Let me just say. This the only ones they got? Hold on. Go up. Oh, this is sound okay. Go up. All right, go up. Man, they got lots of amplified. Come on, let me say, hold on. Okay, up. Up, Simba. Up. All right, stop. Okay, yeah. Good here. Up, around. Come on. English Revised, God's Word Translated. Okay. And National Standard. Come on. Ooh, they jump out at you. No, you good. All right, come on. Literal standard. Come on. Majority. Hell. No. Hell. Principal. Hell. Okay. Hell. Come on. Yeah. Gehenna. Control fire. Gehenna. Okay. Do this. Go see now. See if you put in the 6th chapter. See if that's 6 and 8 of Kazum. They call Revelation. I'm thinking 6 and 8. I'm thinking. Six and 8? That's 6 and 1. That's 6 and 1. So I'm thinking, listen. Okay. Okay. Let me see. All right. Slide up a little more. All right. Slide up a little more. Then slide up some more. Slide up some more. Slide up some more. Some more. That's it. Come on up. Come on up. Working. You're doing beautiful. 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 Come on. That's it. Come on. Come on. Oh, stop. Okay. All right. Come on. God's word. Come on. International. Come on. See. Come on. Let's say literal. That's it. Literal standard. Come on. Berean. That's it. Come on. Young Jesus. Come on. Oh, Smith, my great-grandfather. Let's see what they says. Come on. Literal emphasis. Okay. They put emphasis. Catholic translation. Oh, stop. Okay. Catholic. Okay. Catholic public domain. All right. Translation. Aramaic. Yeah. Okay. Hades. Okay. Come on. Okay. That's it. All right. Come back down. Stop. Not that fast. You start there from the bottom. All right. Come back up. I'm sorry. Go back up. Slow. Come on. Amen. I just want to check everybody for a second. Is that okay? Stop. Aramaic. And I saw a pale horse, and the name of him who sat upon it was, and
Sheol.
Did what? Okay. Next one. Show y'all a pattern. Let's look. Hold on. It don't make no difference. Whichever one. It don't make no. The NET. Hold on. International Standard. Look at him. I looked, and there was a pale green horse, and the rider's name was Death. This is your problem right here. This is Greek. This is Greek. Now, don't forget how you got to believe on it. Let's look at what this is about. Everyone in the translate we were rolling through. They didn't get away with hell either. I'll show you that too. This is why you cannot sit and just trust everything they give you. Okay? This is the little key way they're going to tell you. This is how about we look at what Hades is? How about that? Okay. Hold on, here we go. Hades, right? No, you ain't got to come back. Come back. We ain't got to go. Hades' definition and meaning. In Greek mythology, Hades is both the land of the dead and God who rules there. Hades, the god who the Greeks also call Pluto, is the brother of Zeus. This is why you cannot set him. The man told you, he that believeth on me as the. So right there, you just told you that the pale horse went, and his name was Death, and who followed him was Hades. Now you can still be saved. You believe that? Let's do this. Let's do etymology on hell. Because for the people who think they're even smarter with the King James Version. I taught that they're not smart. Why y'all think I said, I can't just sit here and just believe anything I read. He just told this is a Greek God. So you believe the Greek God, that's fine because it's a Greek God and hell is supposed to be wrong, so it don't matter. How it does not matter if that's not what he said? We said old English, hell. Look at that, neither world, abode of death, infernal region, place of torment for the wicked after death. That got that. So hell is more of a safer word. Correct? Of course it's not. You ain't that stupid. All you gotta do is scroll down a little more. Let's see. Oh, stop right here. Old News. Hell, from Proto-Grammatic. What is? Hauja, one who covers up or rides or hides something, was the name of Lucas' daughter who ruled over the evil dead. And what is Nephilim? The lowest of all the worlds, Nephilim. It might have reinforced the English word as a transfer of a concept to who? Theology and its vocabulary. That's why I can't believe everything. That's why I can't believe everything I read. In Middle English, also in Limburus, whatever the patron place, was the patriarch, they call prophet, awaited the atonement used in the King James for the Old Testament, Abari, and the New Testament Greek, and they use Gehenna. Gehenna was a land outside of Jerusalem. That's why I can't trust everything I read. That's not the same thing. Hell is not the same thing. It's not. It can't be the same thing. No, they didn't even know Sheol as a burning place. They knew Sheol as a place that they were out of existence. They existed no more. Tell me when you read Old Testament, they were talking to folk about they were going to die and burn. They burned them folk when they were living. That's why I can't trust everything they tell me. But I trust them. See, this is a part of, I guess, I don't really know psychology like that. With being a therapist, they teach y'all like psychology stuff like that. They teach that. And like the thing when people, when you take the thing and you try to get the people, they teach hypnosis. Y'all don't learn, but they taught about hypnosis. That's good. Put hypnosis up there for me. Hypno. Hypnosis. Throw the Greek behind it. Let me tell you why they do it to you. You put Greek. I don't know why it's talking about no Greek god. Oh, I'm sorry. Why would they talk about Greek mythology? Hypnos, also spelled hypnos, is the personification of the Roman equivalent is known as what that? Somnus. His name is originated of the word, I guess these are similar, Piper, River, whatever they got. That's why I can't take everything these people give me. So they give you psychology, they give you a whole lot of stuff. And people don't realize a lot of stuff you get in their book, a lot of stuff, they have Shakespeare words they use. People don't realize, I used to hear people say, the book was, Shakespeare wrote the Bible. I don't believe he wrote it. But these people took a lot of things from these people to give you stuff to get you off. It makes sense. Listen, it's clear. He that believeth on me, as it is said. What if I ain't never said Hades? What if I never said hell? So whose influence is it? That's why you can't fall asleep on nobody. You just can't afford to do it. So that's why they do it. Also spell hypnosis. We're talking about the personification, different thing right here. And the whole thing, look, name is the origin of the word hypnosis. When I ever heard of hypnosis before? I so confused. When that ever come up? Hypnosis? People, let me tell you something. If you're not careful, you will be chanting. These people teach you to do seance stuff, and you will be chanting. These people, like they're helping you, they are hurting you. You have to be so careful you're doing stuff. Why you think these people don't want you to go back to your word? These folks tell you this is good enough for you. That makes absolutely no sense. That's all I want to know. What did he say? So if there's an error, let it be on his part. If I go back to what he said, it clears me. I can't be clear when I'm playing with you and you playing with hypno. Well, that's not in the book, but they do it. They don't have to use the word, but they do it till you fall asleep. They say the word, love of Jesus, just lay down, just relax. Everything is playing with you. So you have to go back to re-examine what people are telling you because your nephesh is on the line. You know what I mean? I heard folks hated. That's the original word. It's really hated. I don't have no reason to look up no word haters. Look, it's in the Bible. It's God's word. Do you understand why you have to fact check people on things? Because your soul is on the line. 19th chapter, clear up something. 19th chapter, book of Matthew. 19, what's that? 19. Back up 18. Back up 17. Listen.
Who said to him, why ask thou me concerning two? One is two, Elohim, but if thou wilt enter into Kai,
do what?
Keep the Amar.
Keep the commandments, plural. This is what he said, plural, right?
Yes.
Because it's an S on it. Listen.
He said to him,
which?
And Yahushua said, thou shalt do.
Hold on for a minute. What did he ask him?
He said to him, which?
Which? Would it make sense to say which if I want you to tell me all of them? It don't make sense. This is for me and for all of us. It don't make sense to ask which. He asked which because he want to know which ones are you referring to. He would ask which because he want to know which ones are you referring to. The fact that he asked which was not the fact that he asked for all. Which? He just said, if you will enter into life, keep the commandments. He don't know it's 10. He doesn't know it's 10. Now he's asking which. Which ones are you referring to? Listen.
And Yahushua said, thou shalt do no murder.
Don't do murder. Who would you be murdering? Elohim? Who would you be murdering? Who? Ish, man. Listen.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Who would you be committing adultery on? Yahuwah? We know we have that sin. Who would you be committed to? To man. Come on. Because he gave you, when he gave it to you, he did not give it to you in the top 5. He gave you in the second 5. Because this is relating to who? To man. Listen.
Thou shalt not steal.
Who you going to be stealing from? We know he said, will a man rob Elohim? But when he gave you the 5, did he give it to you in the top or he gave you in the last 5? Because it's relating to who? Man. Listen.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Wow. Was this lying on him? Who would you be lying to? Man. So that's going to be in the last 5. Come on. Come on.
Honor thy Abba and thy aim.
And who is he talking about? The Elohim, or is he talking about your regular mother and your father? This dealing with man. Come on.
And thou shalt ahab thy Re'ah as thyself.
And that's referring to Elohim? Dealing to man, your companion. What happened?
The young Ish saith to him, all these have I kept from my youth.
And what happened?
What is yet wanting to me?
See that? He want to know what he's missing now. What happened?
Yahushua saith to him, if thou wilt be Talmud,
if you're going to be complete, if you want to be complete,
go sell what thou hast,
and give it to Elohim,
give it to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in Shamayim, and come follow me.
He was talking about what the young man asked him, not for all 10, which one was he lacking? And the ones he named were dealing with man, which would make sense of why he would tell him to sell what he had and give it, to show him you weren't complete. Correction. That's how we're going to be saved. Correction. I did read before somebody put that they actually didn't put in the 10 because the Catholic Church wanted to try to solidify the Shabbat. They wanted to try to solidify that the Sabbath was not in and that Sunday was in. But I had to let me go back and look again and pay attention to what the boy asked. He asked which. Which is singling out. Not how do all. He said, how do all, and then on the red 6, then I would be right. Correction. You know who it's grievous for? I ain't forsaken away. I'm not forsaken away. It don't grieve me no time. Correction. That's how we're going to halak. Correction. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Do anybody feel like any of them missing? Pay attention to the conversation. Everything he quoted to him was concerning man. So it makes sense he would tell him about selling his stuff and giving it to man. That's what you're lacking from being complete. See, what we're trying to find out is what's keeping us from being complete. A lot of what keep us being incomplete, is the fact that we got a lot of mistranslations. So I want you to understand why I run through, why I'm looking at different books, and I ain't sold every time I read something. It ain't because Tony Smith trying to find his own way. What I'm going to do when I read all them translations I had you to roll through, everybody Hades, hell. You only heard one person, and we went through, was the Aramaic that told you Sheol. So you weren't getting away with either one of them. And they told you, this is something you gave the Christian church. I'm not a Christian. It don't end with that. It even goes to expression. Come hell or high water. That's the expression. Till hell freezes over. They gave you that so it becomes in your conversation. Then they said, let me borrow $20 when hell freezes over. They put it in expression. So if people ain't in church, they use the word. See, they got to get in your conversation so you start to recite things that come from these Greek deities. And in your mind, you'll think you're okay, but you're not okay with him. Because you ain't going to believe it. He said, don't even make no mention of no other Elohims. You're not even supposed to make no mentions of them. So where that put me at? Because I'm trusting and believing. I can't just trust and believe. I have to question. Questioning going to call me to do one or two things. Get it right, if I'm honest. Or I stay wrong. But for me to just take one of these books and just fall down and go to sleep on them and say I got all direct fact is for me to be reckless. James gave me hell. Amplified them gave me Hades. Somebody else gave me God's word translation gave me Hades. The other ones give me hell, so I'm thinking I'm okay with hell. When they done clearly sat here and told you, all this stuff is just something that people made up. And because you go put an English definition behind it to say this is the same thing as an Abri word, this is a game. I can tell you that a fake God can do the same thing Elohim does. That don't make it Elohim. So I can't just sit and just take something and fall asleep with it and say, that's it. Too many people play. These people playing with your salvation. If I believe just what he said, exactly what he said, then guess what? Then I receive. If you do a little alteration, guess what happened? Let me see, a little leaven. When I'm supposed to take the bread for Pesach, how much leaven can I have? What if I got just a little bit? How about what leaven can be kept in my house? How about I ain't got it in the bread, but it's in the house? Violation. These folks got it in your house. It's going to get in your bread. You know why he ain't want it in your house? To make sure you had no chance of error. Because you'll grab something and won't be thinking, and there you go. I can't grab these books and not think. I can't do it. It don't make sense. Too many people lives at stake. Everybody don't have the intent. And why Yahuwah will make us become conscious of watching these things? Because people are playing. Why would you sit down and think your enemy is not playing with you? They hate you. Why would they give you the truth? Okay, that's how it works. Let's look at the 10 Commandments they call it. Let's look at it right quick. 20 and what's that? Allah Shemut, they call Exodus 21. All right. You're the only one know these commandments now. Listen, 20 and 1.
And Yahuwah spoke all these dabarim, saying,
he spoke all these saying. And I want you to know everything he said too.
I am Yahuwah, thy Elohim, who brought thee out of the
Who brought thee where?
Out of the Arats of Mizraim.
Because I'm trying to educate you. You need to know where you came from. You don't know you're going. Why? Really, let's just be honest. Why are we talking about where you brought me from? Let's just talk about where I'm at now. So how I get convinced in my history ain't important? Why are you telling me where you brought me from? If I'm saying right here today, it don't matter where I came from, does it? Why you want to associate it with where I came from? Why you want to associate where I came from? Because they want you to forget your history. How did you get here? I want you to tell me something. I'm here now, it don't matter. You know where you came from. Your fathers were supposed to teach you where you came from. This was supposed to be a constant. If you weren't living at that, they were supposed to instruct you on where you came from and why you came from and how you were brought up and how they treated you. They're supposed to tell you that. They evilly entreated us. Tell your kids no lie. Listen,
out of the bed of bondage.
House of slavery. Come on.
Thou shalt have no other Elohim beside me.
Except for Hades and hell. Except for grace and hope. And besides them, because they're in the Bible. These are three Greek gods. He just told you ain't supposed to have them. What I'm going to tell them when I got the King James Version? I was trusting you, Lord. I'm believing you, Lord. The man just clearly told you ain't supposed to have them. That's it, man. That's it, believing. Because these are not God. Because they come and give you an English definition. Let's do this. Let's look at the English definition for, what is it? Let's look at the three muses first. Look at the three muses. They grab them right quick. Let's just see. Are they gods? They said, well, they made them up. They lie. Every god made up as a lie except for Elohim. So, I mean, they ain't know what's the difference between them and the other ones. Every god made up as a lie. And then they say, he still told me not to have them. It ain't like, well, I can have them because they don't exist for real. That don't make sense. He said, I don't want you to have them. So if I got them in a book I'm supposed to be saved in, is this him? So he's making us conscious to realize what? The people who hate you are feeding you, folks. Yahushua told you that when he was on the tube. When he said he was thirst, what the man gave him? A cool glass of water. No, he said, no, you need to part your tongue. Cool. The man said he gave me poison. Why you think he gave him poison? Because he loved him. Because he loved him. His heart was pure. These sorry, no good summer guns ain't got nothing to feed the man to save the folk. What they gonna give me? Come on, folks. Y'all gotta be conscious. Y'all gotta be conscious. Oh, we're gonna do the three muses. Oh, these are, man, they got way too many. You'll be here forever. And don't worry about an atlas, because this is what they call your world map, an atlas. Don't worry about that. Now, just go ahead. Now, we should just look at the three muses. You don't mind, please, just give me the three muses. I appreciate that, because you'll be, man, there's so many of them things, and all of them ain't even recorded down. They got 9. You get the 3 original, you know what I'm saying? Music, dance, and choral. Who are they for? They should have had faith and hope and charity. Man, these folks got whole stuff. They got mothers. Do you know how in depth you are with this stuff? How they fell out and what all they do. These people got so much stuff. They have God to do everything. One Elohim told her, he said, I do all these things. Look how many folk they got to lie about. One of y'all do acting. One of y'all over love. None of y'all over crime. Another one over the fields, the crops. Another. And Yahuwah said, do not I do all these things? Y'all go to college. You cannot go to college and get some discipline of Greek. You got to go. If you take psychology, you take sociology, you're going to get some form of Greek. They're in your life. They're controlling your life. That's why you be comfortable when you get the book. Oh, I learned about it in college. You're right, it made a fool out you. It don't show you faith. That put them in faith, hope, or charity. Oh, yeah, they don't want to. I seen faith, hope, and charity. Did I see faith then? They go back. You put Jesus in the way, they come in. Yeah, but people don't realize that that's for everybody. Honestly, what you think? They're going to let you pull up what they need you to pull up. These people control you. Everybody, and now everybody act like now that it's new, like this. What they call that stuff when they block out, what they call that? Shadow. Y'all think, everybody think they done came with some new word. Where you think they're going to let you? You thought when they created this, that they would just let y'all just go where you want to go? All these folks, Google. All these people the same. Every one of these people hooking to the same computer. None of these folks ain't no different than the other ones. They can't give you nothing outside of what they already done put in here. And it's designed to discourage you and get you off. At the end of the day, everybody got to be saved, but you cannot lay down and just think it's okay to just take everything these people give you. I mean, when you said, Stasha, you said when you was in college, y'all did learn about hypnosis. Did they tell y'all that hypnosis was a Greek god and it came from Greek? Because people would have probably looked at it if it had been a religious conviction. So some people, you say certain things, it's a religious conviction. So like, hold on. A Greek, that don't make sense. People go all the time, they go to psychiatry, they'll tell them about hypnosis. So what we might have to do is use hypnosis, where we send you back. And people just fall down comfortable to stuff. You don't realize they're playing with the God with you. I know y'all comfortable. You be comfortable. If you ain't really trying to be saved, it don't really matter. Honestly, it don't. For me, I need to know if you're playing with me. Let me say. In Greek mythology, charity, singular cherish or Greek, were three or more goddesses of charm, beauty, nature, human creativity, goodwill, and fertility. That's why these folks will get these organizations, and there'll be charities. You go get clothes. You need some help. Listen, I know a charity where you can go, they can help you and your daughter out. They be like, oh, thank you. Bless you now. Both are just spinning curses on each other. And people think this is okay. All charity is love. Because they play you. They're going to play you and make you think it's the same thing. The man told you they're going to take the truth out of him and make it a lie. Because these bastards would rather worship and serve the creature more than the creator. You can't fall asleep with these people. What they got out there? Fertility, shining. Is this for grace right here? Roman mythology, they were known as, who it is? Greta. Oh, the graces. Some sources use appellation. What's that? Appellation. Appellation. Cherish as the name of one of the charities and equate her with, who it is? Angeles, as she too is referred to as the wife, or who it is? Hepatitis. Ain't that disease you get? The charity were usually considered the daughters of Zeus. And look how that Oceanid. I don't know who that says. I'm not Greek, so I really don't care. Rarely they were said to be the daughters of, who are that, Dionysus, and whoever that is with a C, and whoever they said who I don't care about, or heroes by the unnamed fathers. Now these folks out of wedlock don't know their daddy. See this stuff? What is the purpose of this stuff? It's a lie. Get the folk the real parents at least. Goodness. I was trying to say that. So you start to deal with charity, and you start to deal with grace. I think faith falls up on one of these folks, falls up on one of these daughters of the Muses. But now when you look at the English version of it, and they tell this stuff coming to Greek underworld. See also, what else you got to know? Is faith one of them too? Okay, charities, we do that. So let's just do that. Just better, let's look at the definition of charity. We ain't got to go nowhere. We look up Merriam-Webster, one of these people. And this is just, we just want to know what we're doing. That's all. That's all. We just want to know that. And this is how they get, this is English. This is charity. Look at charity. Let's look, slide up, charity. An organization set up to provide help and raise money for those in need. The voluntary giving of help, typically in the form of money to those in need. See? That's all it is. The care of the poor. See? The care of the poor must not be left to private charities. See? Beautiful. And let's see the 13th chapter of the book. And then grace. Let's see what grace is. Is hope one? I think hope is one of theirs, or is it? I think hope is one of their deals to him. Grace was a similar elegance or refinement of a movement. Courteous goodwill. That's all it is, a courteous goodwill. But when you look it up, they clearly just tell you that these are Greek and Roman goddesses. But see, when you look it up, when you just lazy and you go to Google make it seem like this the same equivalent as what your words are. Because that's how they'll get you. Take a Greek. So this is where they hurt you at. Because you read it and it calls Google or one of these definitions come up as in a dictionary now, that makes it okay to use it? When they clearly tell you where it derived from? So you're going to take it and make it your own because you put it in. That's how they get you out, because they know what we're going to do. Go look it up. See? That's Tony Smith telling you lies. That's the real word right there. I don't get it. I don't know. Why I'm the enemy? I ain't the one who wrote this stuff. I'm trying to define it. Thetis was the goddess of trust. Trust and good what? Faith. In Roman paganism. She was one of the original virtues to be considered an actual, whatever they got on that. what they call that, fetus, and they're going to put that in there. Is that the name, fetus? Trust. Well, she was supposed to be the goddess of trust and a good faith. She was one of the original virtues considered actual religious divinity. So that, see, she was considered one of the original divinities. So the fetus and everything is equipped. Now you found this from looking up faith? Fidelity, yeah. And they had a bank, good fidelity. And this is the same exact thing as our Amunah. This can't be, because you can see why these people clearly tell you this stuff all derived from their deities. This is why we have to come to our language and come to the knowledge of our language, because people are playing with you. To me, the safer thing is to do, why we don't just say what he said? That way we don't lose it. We can just get back to what he said. Because we can see everybody play with us. The black man play with us, the white man play with us, the Asian play with us, the Hispanic play. Everybody's playing with us. And at the same time, we'll spend more time arguing, fighting, disputing stuff than everybody playing work. Then they'll come and throw an English definition and say, let's just make it quick. Just say this means this, the same thing. So now you just don't use that. So if you use the English word, you really say the same thing as the Abari word. I tell you, it's impossible. I knew it wasn't. It's impossible. They're going to give you stuff to make you seem like it is, but that's part of their lives. You're going to start, you dealing with Greek mythology. Everything Elohim told me, for me, I believe it's the truth. I admonish the truth. I really do. I admonish the truth. I just can't trust every writer. I just don't do it. I ain't going to say and tell you no lie. I just don't trust every writer. Because you're playing too much. I don't get it. Why don't you just leave it alone and say what he said? All they tell you fidelity is good trust, goodwill. When you go back and you look at the Abari word, you look them up strong, they're going to all give you the same thing. You look at Amunah, fidelity. So what are they trying to tell me? Really, if you say fidelity, you're saying the same thing. I'm not saying the same thing because it's not the same word. It belongs to the Greeks. And they already told you what they definition. If you want to take it and say something else, that's on you, but they didn't say it. Okay? The end of the day for all of us, we just want to be right. Everybody, ain't the important thing for us to be saved. So to be saved, what's wrong if we just make sure we're right? Once I see you playing, what's going to make me just, how many of y'all eat fish with bones in it? Now, I used to want to eat it. I eat it with bones in it. You know how to eat it? Like this, till I'm sure I got something, I don't get stuck with a bone. There's too many bones in it. I done went and grabbed a piece of meat, thought I was gonna crunch, and that bone stuck me in my, I said, God almighty, I realized I got to be more careful. Guess what happened? I hit too many bones. Because you'll relax, take your drawers off, you don't get screwed. Because you're gonna be, I'm ready. The average person is honest. Let me tell you something. Get out your mind that Christian people are the worst people, and Christian people, they're doing the same thing we did. You're saying, I'm trying to find the right way. I'm really trying to, I'm just trying to look and see if I can find something to cue me in or get me on the path. And as soon as you go, they got to hang up for you right home. They get you somewhere make-believe. And you can say, well, as long as you don't steal, you ain't trying to go. But he wanted me to believe a certain type of way so he can get a certain type of effort from me. When I'm believing something off a false premise, it's going to be hard to get the right perception or give me the right perception to get the right performance out of me. So when he looks at, if you can see this the way I'm actually prescribing it to you, then you should give me the right performance. But the reason why we hide behind and drag and mess around, because I ain't say that. It's just like he told you in the 23rd chapter of the book of Jeremiah. He said, I hadn't sent these people. They ran. He said, I have not spoken to them, yet they done nobbled. He said, had they stood in my counsel, caused the people to hear the other translation, hear my word. Get what he said? Then you would have turned them. He said, then you would have, because they going to know my word. He said, my word like a fire, and then like a hammer, I break the rocks in pieces. You still stony-hearted because they don't play with you. That's why we still stuck. That's all of us. That's why we're in the dilemma. Because everybody playing with it, and it's honest people being led wrong in every race. And the first thing people take and say, he don't believe about, I don't believe everybody playing. I can't believe you playing too much. I'm not trying to rewrite no book. I'm not trying to script nothing for myself. Why we just can't, this is all I'm saying, anybody. Why we just can't get what the man said? Let's cut all the games out. What did he say? Quit trying to put your own stuff in it. Take it and say, listen, this mine right here. Just like if you got some food and you got you ate out of it. Say, I ate out of it. Good, you keep, I don't want that. Give me the one you ain't ate out of. Y'all got me? You got ice cream, you done licked it. I don't want that ice cream. I want my own. Let me lick my own ice cream, okay? That's all I'm asking for. Everybody needs a fair chance to sit down to consider. We haven't been given a fair chance to consider. Because for years, I don't care what we do, it's still that little epic of the Christianity still kind of evolves in us. Because that's what you've been taught. It's certain things we watch, we just fall asleep on. We don't pay attention to it. And you won't pay attention to it because why would you be conscious of it? Because you've seen it so much. And the longer it keeps happening, just like slavery. Slavery was a natural culture of America. Because after it happened, at first, when it first evolved, it was a wreck. It was havoc and what everything was doing. But eventually, people just kind of subdued to it. That's how it was. Then when you would bring one of the slaves, originally when you first brought the slave, think about it, the biggest fight was trying to contain all of them. After a while, when you done broke the first few sets of them, now when you bring one in, I ain't got to do so much breaking. I let them tell you, come here for a minute. Just brought him in off the boat. Come here, boy, quit fighting. Master trying to help you, nigga. You dumb nigga. Just stop fighting the master. See, because you done got him and gave me your hypnosis. Now I come in and get him the psychiatrist to calm down. He calmed down, and I'm going to get him to read the Bible and just trust the Lord, believe in God, and have faith and keep hoping. And we got to have charity one for another. See that? That's it. That good nigga. You be good nigga. So you keep inducing a race of people to it. A while, they don't even think. And it's not just us. People have been crippled. There are honest white people, honest Chinese people, honest Mexican people. Every race. But everybody being subdued by people. And we become, because they'll talk nice and slow. They'll speak spiritual. They play game with organs. They play game with all their instrument stuff. And people just relax. Just let go. Just relax. Just relax. Let go. Let God. Your drawers just came off. You didn't even know. Your drawers, your pants on, they'll slip it down one leg and it came off. You talking about, I feel a breeze. He touching me. Yup. Pastor, he touching. And he done touched you now. Everybody, we can't afford to sit and be so lax. It's too dangerous. So we have to walk through here and try to look at. That's why try to think about what is your intent? What are you trying to get us? What are you trying to display? Because I don't want the wrong imagery. Then I produce the wrong, and then it's the wrong effect of what you're trying to get from it. But when somebody's giving you all the personas of what he's saying, see, and somebody going script on the side, see, what God trying to get you to do, really, he don't want you to do. All he wants you to do, have love in your heart, have charity in your heart. See, all that law, see, that's what's wrong. If you have charity, the Lord understands. You know how many folks have bought into that and then we'll fight them. You stupid. They'll believe because somebody read it from the book. And you know, they think it. That's like, man, I like to get my parents. Why would somebody lie about this? I really was so dumbfounded. I'm like, this is the Bible. Why would you lie about this? Because you know, they realize this is not his word, it's that. It's been played with, and I want you to believe it. So I'm trying to get you to do so. Let's see 13 right quick and 1 of 1 Corinthians. I'll try to let y'all go. I done bored y'all now. Y'all don't love me no more. Before I go, I'm supposed to still get, hold on. Let me finish that first. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let y'all go. Most High willing after. Let me finish my 10 commandments. Let me finish that. Where we left off? Okay, we read 3. So we already seen where your problem at because you said you got charity. How many of y'all ever said you had charity before? Okay, we're gonna say you had it. So you didn't break that 3. You weren't supposed to have no other one, but you had charity. How many of y'all had faith? But he told you weren't supposed to have no other God. You see, this can possibly be a defect. He understands. Okay, let's just say, come on. Thou shalt not do what?
Make to thyself an idol, likeness of anything.
Well.
Whatever things are in the Shamayim above,
and
whatever are in the Aras beneath,
and
whatever are in the Ma'im under the Arat.
Mm-hmm. And then he had a fish. How many of y'all had that fish? fish necklace, fish bracelet, fish on the back of your car. Mm-hmm. How many of y'all went there, had the little turtle dove with a little weed, had a little oregano branch in their mouth? How many of y'all remember that? Nobody went nowhere with that. Nobody seen that either. But let me ask you a question. So what part you didn't understand? Mm. And this ain't nothing. This really, because really it was symbolic of him. But I told you not to do it. So why would you, when you join church, all these churches, for what reason would they have it? For what reason would they have it? Angels and all this supposed to be so-called angels on the window. Those are Greek mythology people on those windows. That's all that stuff is. Roman deity, Greek mythology, and these folks still say, and the man just told you not to do it. Don't make them. Nothing. Don't do it. Nothing. But don't forget, he knows you have charity for him. Come on.
Thou shalt not make, thou shalt.
Oh. 5.
I think we have verse 5.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I am Yahuwah the Elohim, a jealous Elohim.
Doing what?
Recompensing the Kataim of the Abel upon the Benin.
To the who?
To the third and fourth Tuladot, to them that hate me.
So hold on for a minute. Let me get this straight. Thou shalt not bow down to them nor serve them, for I am the Yahuwah the Elohim, a jealous Elohim, recompensing the Kataim of the Abel upon the Benin, to the third and the fourth Tuladot, to them that hate me. So you mean if I do that, if I bow down in front of figure, if I had a picture, and I'm honest, picture Jesus, and I'm going through, because right now it's really tight on me, it's a lot of stuff pressing. And I go to that picture and I just get on my knees and I just pray and Jesus, I really need you. And I'm honest, and it's a lot of people honest. I need you to come in my heart. I need you to change me. I need to help. I'm going through loss of mother, loss of wife, loss of kid. Jesus, please help me. Jesus, I'm about to lose my house, Jesus. Jesus, just say, I'm saying this because I want to be realistic. Let's stop thinking all these people are just deliberately doing it. The writers are deliberate. These people don't know because they've been told, this is God's word. You don't question God's word. You don't change God's word. You don't. So what do? They're honestly doing it. And here's a picture of the man you said died for me. And I'm just asking him. I'm not praying to no foreign God. I ain't asking no strange God. I'm asking Jesus to come into my heart right now. I'm asking Jesus to come and change, fix my marriage, bring back my son, my daughter. Jesus, help me. He said, this will be symbolism and you hated me. So if I'm doing it ignorant, it's justified. Because I didn't know, it still ain't wrong. Come on. 6.
And bestowing rakam on them that ahab me to thousands, and on them that keep my mark.
So I got the dove and the fish on my car. I got the picture of Jesus, and I pray to it. When I'm going through, I just want to reverence him the Son. And is he going to be bestowing this rakam on me?
Absolutely.
Why not if I'm honest?
I'm not doing it.
You know what it's going to mean? Just like with Yasharal, because you don't have the facts. You haven't been educated. That's why he said right here, listen, you have a zeal, but it ain't according to facts. You have a zeal, I bet you got a zeal, but it ain't according to facts, and you doing your own thing. This is why you have to question things. This is not challenging Elohim. What are you going to do? And the man just told you, this is a deliberate violation. All right, come on. 7.
Thou shalt not take the Shem of Yahuwah the Elohim in vain, or Yahuwah the Elohim will not acquit him that takes his Shem in vain.
You know how many people, when they were told what their man's name was, told they didn't care nothing about that name because all they know is Jesus? And they're going to be what? They're going to be, he going to forgive them for what now? How many of y'all here with Jesus believers? What attribute, when you first heard somebody say, his name was Yahuwah, what you say? Oh man, I'm so glad you just came and told me the name of the Father. I'm good now. What you said? And where would this put you at? Don't wait, they put so much emphasis. We thought his name was God. So when people start to, I don't know nothing about no junk like that. I like no God. What did you just do? And I'm saying it because I'm trying to get you to see they set you up for failure. Yeah. The man just said, listen, I'm not going to forgive you for this. You know how many people, when they heard the name and heard you, they said, man, they don't care about no junk like that. All I know is God and Jesus, God the Father and Jesus. Where did they just put you at? So you the only one know these commandments. Your enemies knew them. That's why they purposely gave you the wrong names. That's why they purposely gave you the figurines and the pictures, because they knew you're going to be in violation. Listen.
Zakar the Shabbat Yom to keep it Kadash.
And you was a Sunday worshiper. Saved and filled with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, he told me to mark it and to remember it. And keep it what with other ones? Separate. Separate. That's why you're supposed to do different today than you do on any other day. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not Saturday. Well, for me, I do. And the book said I'm blameless because I'm working now. Because they're supposed to be separate. That's why I don't conduct business with folks on that. Because he just told me not just the card, keep it separate. Listen, I had money in my wallet. Somebody give me somebody got money. They get it. They said different. I said, oh, shoot. I'll fold it up and stick it out different. So when I go back through my wallet, I realize I'm not supposed to touch this. This is for something else. Somebody gave me this for something. If I mix it and put it together, it's going to be hard to pull it back out. So he told me to do the same thing. Zakari and keep it separate. So I'll fold it differently, might put it in my wallet. Somebody gave me, because otherwise if I stick it in, I ain't going to remember what it was for. I'm going to take off. Guess what? If you keep working on Shabbat, you ain't going to remember what it's for. So keep it separate. Some folk, they get it right. They say, this bill money, this money. Why are you separating it? Ask to remember what it's for. That's what he told you to do with Shabbat. Remember what it's for. So separate. I can't remember what it's for if I'm doing the same thing I do, what they so-called Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, unless I separate it. Come on. 10. I'm sorry. Come on. Okay, let's see why he told me why. Listen why.
6 Yamim, thou shalt labor, and shalt perform all thy work.
What happened?
But on the Shabbat Yom,
the 7th day,
is the Shabbat of Yahuwah, the Elohim.
So that's how he want to keep. He said, because it's mine. That's why I want you to say it's mine. These folks try to get you convinced it don't matter. It ain't about this. The man said it's mine. I want you to separate it from any other days. Hello? Just like, and how we understood that? I separated you from any other people. I put a difference between you and other people. So I put a difference in this day than any other day. And you were supposed to mark it to remember it. So you don't get it confused and you pop up when you wake up what they call Saturday morning. Not Saturday, we call it Saturday. Wake up Saturday morning and shoot out to the mall and get in there and you at the cash register. This your 3rd time. And you'll bend to the car and say, oh, shoot, I forgot it with the Sabbath. And you know how you forgot it? Because you didn't separate it. You didn't separate it. You done kept the same pattern, so you don't know when to separate it. You done popped out somewhere and bought food and everything else you done because you didn't separate it. He said, this is mine. He's telling you why. This ain't just remember the Sabbath and keep it holy, as they said. No, I'm going to tell you why. Because 6 days I gave you to work. But on the Shabbat, which is the 7th day, Yom, he said, that's mine. And I want you to separate it from what you're doing. Just like you're a set-aside people, the Amar separates you from other people. But the way they gave it to you, you actually mingled in with everybody else. Because you got the same, you got charity, you got faith, and you got hope. Yes, sir.
On it thou shalt do no work, thou nor thy ben, nor thy bot, thy abad, nor thy maidservant, thine bakar, nor thine ass, nor any cattle of thine, nor the stranger that sojourns with thee.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who's going to stay with you to keep the same laws and statutes. He said, you can't say, I keep all that else, that Sabbath thing, I can't keep that. Then you can't stay with us. Mm-hmm. Somebody that sojourn, they're going to stay and they're going to lodge there. He said, you can't stay here and not keep it. I can't leave nobody at my house telling me I'm finna go out and say, you go ahead, you can stay here. I got to keep the Shabbat. You can't stay here.
Right.
The house got to keep the Shabbat.
That's right.
If there's a bug in there, that bug already know what he's supposed to do. When the sun set last night, that joker's just laying there just hanging on. Well, he stopped that sun, he hanging on. He said, come on, let that sun drop. I can't do no work and pull myself up. That's all your roaches supposed to be still. You said, why that roach won't move? He said, shh, it's Shabbat. All right, come on.
Or in 6 Yamim, Yahuwah made the Shamayim and the Arat.
Look how much, he didn't do all this explaining with other gods and stuff, did he? He didn't do all this explaining with nothing else. And then he want to go, he's trying to detail you why. He said, because I did all this in 6 days. Listen.
And the Yom and all things in them, and rested on the Shabbat.
That's going to be tight how he made all that stuff in the sea when Oceanus said they did it. Uh-huh.
Therefore,
I think it's primordial is the word, meaning they existed from the beginning. That's what Oceanus is. It's primordial. It means existed in the beginning. You know how scary it is, and people don't think that's reckless that you sit around and you call it the ocean, and it rules from Oceanus, and that means that it existed in that this is a Greek god that created this in the beginning. So you said he told you there was no strange god with me, but you're gonna go to the ocean. Yeah, these are things that why was he putting so much emphasis on? There was no strange gods with me. He said, I stretched forth the Shamayim alone. He said, I spread abroad the Arats by myself. He said, there were no strange deities with me. But according to Oceanus was there. Primordial, it said it was there, existing from the beginning. At the first. And your book is a book that told you in the first. So now this starts to impede on what you're supposed to believe. How many times we use ocean? How many of y'all went and say, man, let's go look at the ocean. Man, look how beautiful the water is. Wow. What were you thinking in your mind? What were you thinking? Man, there might be something wrong saying this. All it is the ocean. And the whole time you know you've been railed in. When they use the sea, the reason why they can differentiate, they believe the sea is just a track inside of the ocean. Just like an acre of land, that's not the whole of rocks. They believe that the ocean is the body of the big water. A sea is only tracks. You got the Pacific, you got the Potomac, you got the Atlantic. These are seas. These are not oceans. See, you're not conscious. Why would you be, think about this as a human being. Why would we be thinking anything about that? Who got time to be sitting around thinking about some stuff like that? It's just the water. Why he gonna make all that? Is it me making it? We looked the stuff up. This ain't my mouth. So they'll let Elohim have the sea, as they call it, because the sea is only a track. He did not invent the ocean. See, they'll play with you. Word game. But this is Tony Smith chasing words. I'm not chasing words. This is their stuff. I wouldn't have to be on the defensive if you were just left well enough alone. Make no mistake, it is an intent there are some people he don't want to get it. I'm aware of that. But I don't want to be one of the people, so I have to search to see whether those things are so. Man, y'all have beautiful be. We could just drop down, read a couple of scriptures, 30 minutes, we out of here. Because we done ran straight through the truth, nothing in the way. We should have been gone. But look how much time you got to put in. Because in somebody's heart, they still don't see nothing wrong with it. That's just me playing word game. Need to stay on the book, just follow the Bible. This is how we got into the mess we in. All right, come on. What did he do?
Therefore, Yahuwah barak the Shabbat and Shekat Kadash it.
They hollered it. What that thing we put for consecrate, I don't know what word we use. Go ahead.
Kabad thy Abba and thy aim, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest kai long on the two Arats.
So let me ask you a question. Honor thy mother and thy father. So let me ask you a question. What if it's somebody else's mother who ain't him? I supposed to honor them too? Nobody want to answer. Say it louder. Now, why would he do that? Listen to what he just told you. Honor thy who? That's yours. Thou. Let's pay attention. That's possession. Thy, your, which will be your father and your mother, that it may be well with you, and that thou may live long well on the good land, which the Yahuwah Elohim give it who? This is talking about you and your mother. How would you include somebody else's mother who ain't him? It told you about how to do an aged woman and an aged man, but that would be those that are under the doctrine teaching. This would not include everybody on those streets talking about they no mother, no father. He told me my mother, father, that's possession. That it might be well with who? With me. That who might live longer? That I might live longer. So this all includes me and my mother. Later on, he told you, Shaul told you about the elder women. You supposed to honor them as who? That's every elder woman you seen. No, he talking about those under the doctrine. The elder men, you supposed to honor them as who? As a father. Those under the doctrine. Ain't no every man going no strength and honor him like no father. That's retarded. This is dealing with you and those in the association of the group. Y'all taking this stuff out in the street. Y'all can't be doing that. What y'all doing? Come on. 13.
Thou shalt not kill.
Kill who? Thou shalt not kill who? That's one that's among us. That's how they came in without, they couldn't kill their brother. No more than I could kill my brother in him. There's no way I could kill you or you kill me and we'd be justified. Because that law pertains to people that are under the Berith. Otherwise, they were being condemned when they went out and they killed people. Yasharal killed other people. He sent them in to go out from gate to gate and kill them. How would they be justified? When the book just said, thou shalt not kill, that meant there was a transgressor of their own law. Because it was relating to them. Listen.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Who are they talking about with? Hello? I've been talking about us with other women that were right here among us, with our brother, our king. With the people right among us. Hello? Okay, them people went in from other people and took them too. Catch them and took the women, killed the men. Well, then it would have made them justified because they killed the men. But they took folk from other people too. Listen.
Thou shalt not steal.
From who? He's talking about they don't despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul. Mm-hmm. So I'm justified if I steal from you? Mm-mm. I'm justified if I steal from somebody else if it's a need. A need now. This ain't no just being no sorry, no good nigga. You just want to steal sometime. I need it. Come on.
Thou shalt not bear a false witness against thy Reah.
You ain't supposed to lie at all. Because I'm trying to think about Shamshun. Sure told a bunch of lies when he told that girl that all she had to do was just take some cord that's dried out and tie up his hand. Was that the truth? Mm-mm. And so why wasn't he condemned for it? Why was he condemned when he cut his hair and not for sitting out telling them lies? Wow. Okay. I'm just curious. What happened?
Thou shalt not covet thy Reah Ashar.
Nobody wife.
Thy Reah Ashar.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not covet thy Reah Bet.
Don't covet nobody's house.
Nor his field. Thy Reah Bet.
Uh-huh.
Nor his field.
Uh-huh.
Nor his abode.
It's staying personal. It ain't saying nobody's. Listen.
Nor his maid. Nor his bakar.
What else?
Nor his ass.
Uh-huh.
Nor any of his cattle. Nor whatever belongs to thy Reah.
That's talking about how we supposed to deal. That kept what we call, I don't know what harmony might go, but what people call, I don't want to use harmony, so many wordplay, but that would keep what we call shalom among us. Guess what happened? It would never be a reason for it to be a problem among us. I already know that's yours. I ain't got no reason even trying to desire it. And you trying to desire it with intent of, I'll kill you for it. I'll make something happen to you to get it from you. Like some of us have done in the street. You can have a hate for somebody, be right along, call them your friend. Well, I'm done. Come on, that's not like we knew. You cover somebody's stuff, you'll be right there with them, and you do it because you don't know there are laws that keep from doing these things, that keep problems down. I already know I ain't supposed to take, and I don't care what's something. Man, get it, she ain't gonna mess it. Go on, get them keys, get them. He said nothing is hers, but it don't say keys in the Bible. He said, I'm gonna cut, cause I know you. He know, you're a nigga. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. This ain't no bakar. This ain't no man servant or nothing. He said, how about nothing? Nothing, nigga. Oh, her kids. That's how we are. Why you think he put them there? He knows how we are. He knows how we are. So if it belongs to him, don't do it. That's all we got on that. That's all of them right there, isn't it? And this one happened. And all the arm did what?
Perceived the thundering.
They saw the dove. Mm-hmm.
And the flashes.
And the man.
And the call of the shofar.
And the praying hands.
And the har smoking. And all the armed yara and stood afar off.
And the angels on the glass. What happened?
And all the armed yara and stood afar off.
And they feared and stood off.
And said to Mushah,
do what?
Speak thou to us,
mm-hmm.
and let not Elohim speak to us, lest we move.
So you got to ask yourself, what kind of intensity he used when he was talking to them? How were they being told this in the fact that those people felt like it was contingent upon them dying if he kept talking? You know how many times, how many of y'all grew up amazing? Your parents, any parent told them? If I say something to you one more time, what that mean? You don't tell your mama, speak, Lord, speak. No. We good. You know that man, don't it? They tell you that. If I say one more thing to you, you already know that man. You finna die. This girl, you said, lest I die. So you think about the way he had to tell it to them because he needed them to fear enough that you don't do this. So guess what happened with us? Now we read the 7th chapter. We're going to get a book of Mark. He said the fear of me is taught by the precept of men. Because that's why you fear God and you fear Jesus. You fear not having faith. You fear not having hope. You fear not having charity, which is supposed to be the same as a heart. See what I'm saying? It's just so they play with you and you don't realize when we understand things the way he said it, he looks at you'll see a different performance. Because people try to come in and convince you that things are the similar. They tried to sell us that other Elohim they had was equivalent to the Elohim that we serve. And that was a complete lie. How you think they seduced us into serving other Elohim? They tried to tell us that those Elohim would do the same thing. And we had to see the fall on, like we done had to see, all of us, we all had to see the fall of our life. I had to crash. We all had to crash. Just so you can see, everything you hoped in really didn't value what you were looking for. So when you get a hard crash, sometimes you try to look at something to make sure it's more sturdy and safe. Clean living is definitely what we try to perfect and we want to have, but how long can you keep it if you don't have truth? It's people who lost their marriage. Do y'all ever know about who might have lost their marriage from alcoholism or drugs or anything? They'll lose it and they'll go straight. And after a period of time, some of them will go right back because they don't have nothing to sustain them. See, when you building on a lie, it can't hold you for so long. Jesus can't keep you for so long. You can tell yourself what you want to tell you. There's no way you can be kept with Jesus. If that's the case, why are you going to come and give us the name? It don't make sense to give nobody the name because it won't hold you enough. Y'all got it. You got to have something that really builds up stability. You really got to have something that you know is solid enough that it can hold and keep you. It's just like a baby. These folks get a newborn baby. Go ahead and give your baby milk and try to give them sleep from 8 o'clock that night to 7 in the morning. 2 hours, because they ain't going to hold them. He said, it's done, baby. What's wrong with the baby? You ain't gave nothing solid to hold to. Milk can't hold no baby all night. You take some milk and go to sleep and see how long you stay. And I sound like a man attack. Let's talk about preach that thing, man. But that's what I'm saying. You need something solid that gives you stability. That's why it's so important, and it's predicated on us actually knowing what he said, because that way we can make sure to make no errors. Y'all got it? Along with trying to research and find, we got to make sure we keep a mind with the right intent. Why? So we can make sure we enter in at the end of the day. That's the only important thing. Making it in, making sure we get this thing right, making sure we're complete, making sure we go through our checklist before we leave him. Most of the time, people really start considering their real end is when they land up there ready to die. I don't want to do that. I've seen people do it too many times. I don't want to wait till I'm laying up somewhere talking about, yeah, I'm finna get real serious. What if I don't accept it. when you were up in your strength and you can go, you didn't consider. I'd rather not take that from you now. Because now you're in a situation you ain't got no choice. I don't want him to strict me down no bed with no needles in my arm. Now, if that's what it take to get it, let it be. I'd rather get conscious of it and consider it while now I'm able, where I can give something back to him, where I can give a servitude to him. Y'all got it? Willing to change, willing to adjust, whatever we got, whatever any of us got. We always have to make room for adjustment. Because this whole derision of this book and things happening, it was our own fault. It was our own fault. A lot of it was our own fault. Had we did what we supposed to do, we wouldn't have to do this. We wouldn't have to do this. This show you how critical the situation was of our father, that we stuck and we left, that we got to go through these books like this. Because had they stayed on the path, wouldn't have been an issue. But make no mistake, it was an intent he had in order to graft in other people. So there's a two-side concept to it. Had they stayed, we wouldn't have had that problem. But because they strayed, it opened the door for other people to come in. So while we look to say, I hate it happen, you ain't gonna believe what some other people say. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because it gave everybody else a chance to get in. You see how it worked twofold? Had it went any other way, nobody else could have got in. Y'all see how it worked? So now while we hate it, they ain't everybody's story. And you can say, that's crazy. Why you don't hate it? You should hate it like me. No, your fall got me in. How you think some people, like where they had the playoff, how people get in? Who done had a number? So I done lost, and their whole side jump up cheering. I said, y'all niggas sick. Y'all sitting here celebrating my fall. It's only because we got in. So why wouldn't I? Your fall got us in, just like Yahushua on the tube. His fall. That's how we got in. So he made it to where, why you saying it's wrong for somebody to rejoice in your fall, you wind up rejoicing in his fall. You see how it worked? Okay. Eye for eye now, 2 for 2. Hand for hand, foot for foot, rail for rail. That's enough. Appreciate it.